What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to the Undrafted and Overconfident podcast on a Monday, December 1st, 2025. I'm Jason Semko. With me, Brandon Bigo Gordon.
It's official. It's Christmas time, December 1st.
The most wonderful month of the year.
Get those advent calendars out. Start eating them chocolates.
I like to do a tea advent calendar, actually.
You would.
And get some little chai tea, some rooibos.
Some chamomile.
A little bit of chamomile, some sleepy time.
Some Earl Grey.
Those are mixed in there as well. It's a plethora of tea.
Yes, I'm glad we stopped the tea talk because that's about as far as I can go. Earl Grey was my ace in the hole, and then I got nothing.
Oh, you've got oolong.
Oolong.
White tea, Darjeeling. I've become a bit of a tea connoisseur.
You have, my goodness.
Yeah. We can do an one-off podcast on tea.
Yeah, no one's listening to that episode.
Yeah, I know. That ain't going to happen.
You blindfold me and you give me 50 teas, I'm going to say they all taste exactly the same.
A lot of them kind of do.
Yeah.
It's just what fruits and what else you put in there with the tea.
But fruits and tea, it always seems like plants.
No. You can put in like lemon peel, orange peel.
Okay.
See, we got to have a little one-off.
It's just peels. It's not the actual fruit. It's just the skin of the fruit.
You can put like mulberries in there.
You put banana peels in there?
You could. Why not? Dry it, put it in there.
Okay, all right. Let's try it out.
I'm sure Carytown Teas, a hopeful sponsor.
Hopeful sponsor, fingers crossed.
Will send us some.
All right. Well, you didn't drink tea on Thanksgiving, I'm assuming. How was your Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was super quiet, but it was very enjoyable. Turkey came out the best I'd ever done it.
All right.
Made sure to brine it, seasoned it well.
How long was the brine?
Did it for about 18 hours.
Whoa, that's a long brine.
Yeah.
That's a salty bird.
Yeah, but when you wash it all off, you don't taste any of that salt.
That's great.
It was perfect. Seasoned well, cooked it well, went by temperature, not time, so pulled it off. We ate earlier than we wanted, but the bird was done.
That's
so
great.
You got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do, man.
But it was relaxing. Did watch some football. Had quite a few things that'll lead when we talk about the NFL. They'll have a few topics off of that. Mm-hmm. But other than that, that was quiet. I want to know how you all did in the Shenandoah Mountains.
The Shenandoah Mountains, they never disappoint. It was great. Getting out of nature, unplugging, very little cell service. Couldn't be bothered by the outside noise, literally and figuratively. So, man, hiking with kids, very different than hiking solo or with your betrothed. I mean, we'd done it the year before, but I think I pushed us a little too far this year.
So you guys had been to Shenandoah before?
This 3 years in a row we've done this.
Okay,
so.
I thought you guys had been, but then I wasn't so sure, and I was going to be like, well, if they hadn't been, maybe give them a warning about that with the hills. So they've done it,
but it's like Wes is a champ, our oldest, and he seemed to be able to handle it really well. We had done upwards of like 2.5 mile hikes with varying terrain, down to valleys and falls and up to summits. So I was like, I'm going to push this a little further.
Yeah, why not?
Day one, I was like, rip the Band-Aid off. Let's get the big one out of the way. We did a hike called the White Oak Canyon to the White Oak Falls. 4.5 miles.
No.
3.5 to 4 hours. Knowing this going in, but again, here's where the overconfidence comes in. I was like, we're going to crush this thing. My wife, avid hiker, do this in her sleep. Me, I've got the little one strapped to my back in a carrier.
Your own ruck.
In my own ruck. It's a baby ruck. 70 pounds probably easy on my back. My 6-year-old, who's now 6. Happy birthday, Wes.
Happy birthday, Wes.
Listens to the podcast. Just ball energy. I was like, hey, he's going to breeze through this. Going downhill on the way to like easy as pie. You just bounce off the walls. Hey, look at this, look at that. There's some birds. That's cool. Get to the falls. Absolutely breathtaking. View is all we wanted it to be.
Good.
Then came the trek back up.
That's the worst part about any hike you do at Shenandoah National Park.
And I don't know if my wife had ever questioned a decision I had made more in my life. Every 5-10 minutes, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Can we take a break? I've got 70 pounds of baby and pack on my back. No, we can't take a break every 10 minutes. We got to keep moving.
It's already been 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, and this is on Thanksgiving Day, and we're trying to chase. They only serve like a mid to late lunch in the lodge on Thanksgiving Day. So now we're crunching time.
That's not a good recipe for success.
Yeah. So hiking with kids, I learned, especially with the little one getting a little bit older, and he'll be able to manage it, but we got to cap it at that 2.5 to 3 miles tops. And we've also learned that doing summit hikes, get the hard part out of the way first. Go up, and then as they're tired, they're coming back down. That's much more manageable.
That's what I was worried about when you said you were going and wasn't sure if you'd been or not. Because for those that aren't familiar, Shenandoah National Park, it is a beautiful park. It takes about 4 hours to go from north to south, the whole park.
Yeah, driving. So you can only go about 30, 35 miles an hour, but you are literally on top of the mountain driving the whole way. There's no other place to go. You want to get on basically any hike. You've got 3 different entrances in the park you can get into, so you can go where you want to go. But every hike starts at the very top, so no matter what, you know that you're just going to have to come all the way uphill to end it. And you've always got to think of that in the back of your mind. So yeah, lesson learned on the first day. The rest of the way, pretty even keel. We did Mary's Rock, which is about 2.5 miles.
Sweet spot then.
Sweet spot. Uphill first, then downhill. But we did it on the Friday where the temperature was like 15 degrees. So we were okay. My wife, and she'll kill me for this, but she knows this, she's not a winter gal. She was raised in Southern California. I met her in Hawaii, and then I dragged her to middle of Richmond, Virginia, and she's not a fan of the cold. And getting her out on a 3-mile or a 3-hour hike in 15-degree weather, not stoked. The only one less stoked was my littlest on my back. We triple, quadruple layered her, and she was still, I'm not having this.
No.
So even when we got to the summit, beautiful, we lasted maybe 5 minutes up there, and both the ladies in the fam were like, let's get out of here. It's time to go. But then the next day was great. Saturday was great. We did 2 hikes, hour each. We did Old Stony Man for sunset, so that was fantastic. And then we did Dark Hollow Falls, which is a much more timid waterfall hike, and it was great. So
you
trended in the right direction. Knocked it out. We got 4 good hikes in, for sure. And we saw like 30 deer, so my son was stoked. Got to see a bunch of deer on his birthday, so we loved that. And otherwise it was a great trip. But going back to it, the hikes that we struggled with back in the day, my wife and I were like avid hikers. Back when we lived in Hawaii, everybody thinks beaches, but there's so many incredible hikes to do in Hawaii. So many incredible hikes.
You would make sure every 2 to 3 months to send all of us on our friend chat the just beautiful, picturesque
skyline
views that you were seeing. Yeah. Just especially during our winter season here, you'd make sure to send send those pictures.
It's 10 degrees.
Here's where I am. Look at me.
Oh, yes. Rainbows abound everywhere. Nothing but ocean in my horizon. Took Will Billy on a tough one. I've never seen Will Billy, athletic son of a gun. He was crab walking up this crater face.
No.
He was looking like a baby deer with the shaky legs, but that was hilarious. And he was doing this hike with my, I think at the time, 6-month pregnant wife. Like, she was 6 months pregnant.
And she was like, crushing it.
Come on, let's go. He was like, I gotta get my balance. He didn't say that, but I mean, do your best Will Billy impression. But yeah. But back in the day when it was just 2 of us, we would crush these in our sleep, blindfolded. But with kids, oh my God, it's just a whole nother ball game.
Do you think you could have done the 4.5 mile hike if it was more like flat, or is it just the time period?
I think it's flat, yeah. I mean, the terrain definitely added to it. And Flora was at a point very much not regretting, but there were times in a very joking fashion, she was like, maybe we shouldn't have had kids. maybe it's like just remembering the glory of us just going without the quite literal things strapped to our back.
Yeah.
It was a simpler time. And you know what that time's all about. Because, you've got the dream scenario for some people. We love our dream right now, but, no kids, no other mouths you have to feed. And I think you even got a name for it. Like, you're a dink. That's what they call you, right?
I'm a dink, yes.
Yeah, I used to call you a twink, but you're a dink.
Either one, I guess.
You could be both. I mean, if you want to.
No, I prefer DINKWAD.
You would? What? A DINKWAD?
Yeah.
What's a DINKWAD?
So for those out there, DINK, first of all, is dual income, no kids.
Dual income, no kids.
So a DINKWAD is dual income, no kids with a dog.
With a dog.
Yep.
Okay. DINKWAD.
And then actually we can take it one step further.
Oh my God.
Because I'm actually a dildo.
Oh, finally you admit it. Jesus, I've been calling you that for years.
After 40 years, finally
you admit it. You're a dildo.
I'm a dual income little dog owner.
Okay, I'm glad you broke that down, because some of our listeners who have given me grief about some of my profanity would be like, whoa, Semco, where is this coming from?
No, I'm family friendly.
Family
clean.
friendly. Yes.
It's just an acronym.
It's an acronym. If you're thinking of a different kind of dildo, shame on you.
Yeah. Wow.
Get your head out of the gutters.
Why would your mind go there, everybody? Come on.
Dwight Keys. Come on, man. Jesus.
Will Whitaker.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Chris Hunter. Let's just name them all.
Let's just name them all.
Every last one of them. I wouldn't trade what we have for the world. You know, it's like I love my kids to absolute death. I mean, they can be exhausting the majority of the time, but I mean, I think that I got the better life. You probably think you have the better life. I think I have the better life.
I love my life. I love our little dog, Dachshund. You know, she's been enough for us. She's not been super easy. I think I've enjoyed, you know, the struggles of, I mean, for the first 8 months, she tried to attack me.
That's just like my kids when they were born. Yeah.
So, you know, close. But no, it is definitely nice in that instance. One, we could backpack the dog or just leave her in her kennel at the Airbnb and go on with our hike.
Yeah.
So that's really, really nice. It is quite convenient to kind of be able to pick and choose, and you know, it's like one of those if we want to go away on a long weekend.
You still have that level of spontaneity in your life, right?
Yeah.
There is zero spontaneity. The biggest spontaneity in my life right now is like, ooh, what are we doing for lunch? Wow, crazy. I'm going to decide this because I still have full control over my life.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I bet you are. You sound and you look incredibly stoked for me. But, I mean, I get to see the wonder in my children's eyes. I get to see them experience things for the first time. And it makes me remember that when I was feeling it for the first time as well. So it's kind of just a nostalgic piece. And love seeing them grow. Love seeing a little version of me because I love me. So what's better than a little version of me?
Nothing.
This is the best. I'm like, look, it's little me in a mirror.
And pretty soon, we say Wes has just turned 6.
Yes.
He's going to start getting into some more sports.
Yeah,
you can watch him hit that first home run.
That's right.
Score his first goal.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
It is. Yeah, it's going to be super cool.
And then starts getting into trouble.
Yeah.
And then starts getting older.
Yeah, then that's when I just send him off to mommy. All right, you're becoming too exhausting, so go hang out with mom.
I'm glad you have a plan.
Yeah, I do. Don't tell the missus. She's unaware of this plan that I'm concocting.
She doesn't listen to the podcast, does she?
Here or there. She hears enough of me talking in real life. She doesn't want to choose in my free time. Let's listen to Bigo.
Yeah, that's true. Why would you want to? Yeah, my wife, I think, has gotten through maybe the first 30 minutes of the very first episode.
They're not fans.
So my wife thinks we sound really good together.
Great.
And thinks that we're funny at times.
Okay.
But it doesn't like sports.
Yeah, and my wife's the same way. It's like, unless we're talking about her sports team, she's like, tune out. We go into a lot of side roads and tangents that she's like, what the heck are you guys talking about?
It loses focus from that type of a fan base. But that's not really who we're after.
No. We're after you, the listeners, the dedicateds, the overconfidents.
Yeah, and all of our friends.
Yes. Well, I love my life. The only other thing that I might love more than my life and my family is being right. And I love being right. Now, so my new favorite topic of every podcast, Semco, is what am I right about this week?
It's making these harder and harder to drive over here, to sit down.
Yeah, and revel in it. Just
watch
sit
that
in it.
Stupid smile on your face.
Oh, but you get to see it every week now. I mean, such a glorious time for you.
Go ahead, live it up. Get your moment of fame.
It was bound to happen. It was already etched in stone, but it has become official that Sir Lane Kiffin, I've knighted him. Sir Lane Kiffin is officially moving to Baton Rouge to coach them Tigers.
It's a really good thing he's a really good coach because he's going to run out of people that want to hire him.
I mean, dear God, man, it's like I knew it was going to be a messy divorce, but I never knew it would be this messy. And I'm in true, let's just clap it up. In true Lane Kiffin fashion, just burning every bridge on the way out the door.
He just wants to try to come across as it's like, I'm watching the pregame interview with him. I got a decision to make tomorrow. It's going to be really tough. You know, I got to really do a lot of thinking. And then behind closed doors, he's basically like, if none of you all want to come with me now, then F y'all, I'm moving on. I'm going to try to get as much money as I can, but I also want to still coach you guys, but I'm going to leave anyways.
Yeah, I mean, just the audacity for him to say, I'm leaving, but I still want the revelry of possibly taking you guys to a CFP championship. I want both. I want the best of both worlds. And I want to do it with nobody complaining. And the AD is like, you think I'm going to allow you to continue to coach and actively recruit our current players to go with you on this run? Are you out of your flipping mind?
Yeah. Do you think that if he was taking a job at, let's just say like Boise State, do you think Mrs. Ole Miss would have let him coach it out?
They would have been more considerate of it, maybe. But at the same time, those facts still remain, right? He would still be actively recruited because we know Lane Kiffin, he's a freaking snake. He's pretty much openly admitted that he's going to do anything to win. And he would have done the same thing. He would have been like, hey, you know, Boise's great in the spring.
They got the blue field.
Yeah, the potatoes are blooming. They don't bloom, and I don't know if they even grow in the spring, but that's what they're known for, Idaho. But he would absolutely, and I feel like an AD, just because, again, the AD must have known that he was going, right?
It's Lane Kiffin. He jumps ship everywhere to go find greener pastures somewhere else. And he'd been at Ole Miss long enough for Lane
years,
Kiffin.
Right?
Yeah, that's more than enough for him.
That's a surprisingly long time for Lane. Lane had to make this decision because, again, he was never going to do as good as he did this year at Ole Miss. I don't think that in a vacuum he could reproduce the season that he made this year. I don't think it would be possible.
No. In hindsight, I think it's the right move for him to do.
But it's the way that he did it.
The timing of it all, and it's not all just on him. It is the way that he did it, and then you want to come out there and it just makes you less believable. When you sit there and say that you're leaving because it was a family and spiritual,
say you're doing it for the money.
It's LSU over Ole Miss. I mean,
it's a step up.
Before you got to Ole Miss, I think the Eli Manning years were the best years at Ole Miss.
Easily.
And within that SEC and the bigger schools...
Didn't the original Archie Manning go to Ole Miss too?
Yeah.
So the Mannings were all Ole Miss.
And Lane Kiffin. It's been like three people that have kind of skyrocketed them. But they could shoot down so quickly. So it was the right move for him to make. It just takes away from... I mean, this was our first topic we got into rather than the games itself, the playoffs.
I mean, it's crazy that even not only the players, but the coaches, right? He said on the way out the door, he's like, I'm leaving. If you even are considering joining me at LSU, you have to leave with me right now. You can't even coach on an interim basis. And then he went, and of course he had to drag the AD. He's like, I wanted to stay. I wanted to stay for my players.
No, you didn't.
I wanted to stay because I carried them here on my back, but he won't let me finish the season. It's like, dude, just a wrecking ball dragging behind you the entire way.
If you cared that much about the players, about the school, you would have stayed. You would have simply said, I've got a team that I'm coaching now, and we're looking forward to getting into the college football playoff. I'm with Ole Miss. If LSU is still open at the end of the year, then I will consider and talk about it then. But I've got games to win. I've got a playoff to get ready for. But he didn't want to do any of that.
No.
And now he's actually going to get paid if Ole Miss has success in the college football playoffs, which, once again, LSU, the governor got so upset and said, we're not going to do anything stupid in signing these guys. Guess what? You know what? You signed Jimbo Fisher for $90 million. At least Jimbo won a national title and is kind of beloved where he's leaving. Lane Kiffin is hated everywhere that he's left and hasn't won a national title, hasn't made a college football playoff, and you just went and spent $13 million a year you're going to pay for this guy. You just did the same stupid thing that you claimed you weren't going to do.
Right. I mean, it's unfathomable, and it's like they almost got caught too much into the hype machine, right? They're like, he's the best available, and we need to get the best available, even if it's not a good fit, even if we're going to ignore all the red flags. He is a bad boyfriend. He's like, I just keep going back. He's a toxic relationship, a walking toxic relationship, and it's just like, no, but I can change him. I can change him.
We're LSU. We don't do 10-yard markers every time. We do 5-yard markers, and we're Death Valley. We can change anybody.
I mean, the hubris is just deafening. And that's why they're a match made in heaven, because LSU, that whole college has a hubris around them, and so does Lane Kiffin. So in that regard, match made in heaven. But again, it's like we talk about, and you and I have talked about this on time, it's crazy how they allow this to happen during a current season. The timing of it in college football, and it's always kind of been like this, where it's like there's no rules behind it. It's like in the NFL, you have to request, can I talk to your coach?
Do? Yeah.
If their season's still moving forward, and the team can be like, no. Or they can say, after our playoffs run, or it's like, it's a standard kind of rule, I think, that it's like, you can't even interview a coach until their season is officially over.
That's why you have Black Monday, because it's like, what's the point really of mostly firing a coach during the season, because you can't really talk to anybody else. The situation must be that bad in that building that you have to fire the head coach because, you can't do anything.
Yeah, the only other reason I can think of it is that if you want to make it obvious very early on that, hey, there's a position available here, and letting these current coaches ponder, it's like that. But that would only be good if you, like the Bears last year, when Eberflus got cut early, it's because they're like, listen, we've got a franchise quarterback, we've got talent, he was just a garbage head coach, so everybody marinate, the Bears are open, right? But they still didn't, interview anybody because they couldn't. But in college football, it's like, and I understand that there are reasons behind it because, again, the recruiting element of it, I feel like, is a big reason why they don't shift to that, because they're like, recruiting is nonstop, and they're like, we need to hire coaches and get people in seat as quickly as possible because they have to keep that recruiting trail
Then
warm.
Don't fire that coach. You should be punished for that. That should be your punishment. If you really want to get rid of a coach that bad, then there should be some consequences to that. You need to wait until until the national championship game is over is when you can hire. And go with an interim until then. But yeah, you shouldn't be somehow. LSU came out a huge winner, and Ole Miss came out a huge loser, and the season's not even over. I mean, Ole Miss probably isn't going to do well in the college football playoff.
No, and that's the thing is that the irony of it is that you said LSU's the big winner and Ole Miss is the big loser. Ole Miss is making the CFP. They're making the college football playoff. LSU is terrible, but somehow because of all of this chatter and all of this noise, everybody's super high in LSU and dogging Ole Miss.
Well, I don't want to give you too many flowers.
Give me all the flowers.
But you did make a really good point when we were debating who was going to go to each school. And, I mean, LSU, college football is all they have in Louisiana. You're going to attract better talent at Louisiana State than you are at Ole Miss. So if you get a great recruiter and a great coach at that program, you really got to think that that's going to be the better program than Ole Miss would be. Lane Kiffin being able to recruit, it's a bigger school. They probably spend a lot more money.
A lot more money.
I think in the long run, it can be a home run for Lane Kiffin. If he's able to do that at Ole Miss, what can he do with the deep pockets at LSU?
Very true. He's got the world by the short hairs, right? He can pretty much call his own shot if he wants to. Say what you will about public persona and how the teams that he's left in his wake and the fan bases that left in his wake feel about him, the players still believe in him. They're like, wow, look at Lane Kiffin. And he kind of speaks their language. He's still kind of got that young mentality. He's on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now.
I'd play for him.
Right?
I think he's great. I mean, at Alabama, he was a great offensive coordinator.
He was a great OC, yeah.
I always remember one play watching an Alabama game when he was an offensive coordinator. And I forget who they were playing, but basically he just sat there and saw the way that both teams were lined up. And he just kind of looks over at Nick Saban. He's like, touchdown. And guy throws like a 60-yard bomb for a touchdown. The guy knows football, and the guy can relate. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
That's about the most profane language I'm going to use on this podcast. Yeah. But he wins you football games, and that's unfortunately what gets some guys to where Lane Kiffin is now at LSU, burning so many bridges. This is about the 5th bridge he's burned, and he'll go to Alabama in 5 years, probably.
I mean, and to your point, he must be that good of a coach, right? He's literally tearing places down and moving on. Like, he did the same thing with Tennessee. You remember when he went to Tennessee and he was, like, taking shots at freaking Saban, and he was like, yeah, we're better than Alabama. We're going to kick their butts. They got demolished. And then where did he go right after Tennessee? Do you remember?
I think that's when he went to, like, Central Florida.
Or something like that. I don't know. But, yeah, he blew up Tennessee, and they're just now recovering from his wake. Wasn't Lane Kiffin also the guy that got fired from USC, and they didn't even allow him back on the bus?
Nope. Plain bus. Yeah.
That was hilarious. And somehow this guy keeps failing upwards. I don't understand it.
The guy knows football.
It must be.
He knows to recruit.
He's that good of a college coach for him to still make so many horrendous mistakes or social faux pas or whatever you want to call them, that he's still getting opportunity after opportunity.
We just talked that Ole Miss had Archie Manning, Eli Manning, and he's gotten them to... Now, look, I think it's absurd that you're going to say, 3 straight 10-win seasons and 11 wins for the first time in school history. 10 to 15 years ago, you never even played that many games.
Yeah.
But either way, to have 2-3 losses at the most going through an SEC conference 3 years in a row, Texas can't say that. Oklahoma can't say that. There's a lot of teams that can't say that in the last 3 years. And Lane Kiffin did it at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So, guy can coach.
Yeah.
He's just going to leave LSU. It's going to get ugly. It might be great for like 3 years.
Yeah.
But at some point, it's going to get ugly. And Ole Miss is going to probably sit there and have to pay him a lot of money to not be their coach. And I hope we're doing the podcast still when that happens.
I'm calling my shot right now in 3 years' time. And I do agree that it's going to end just in a amazing fashion. Just fireworks abound.
That's Lane Kiffin style.
And he's not going to make it through his whole contract. He's going to get fired. They're going to pay his, I'm calling it 3 years. 3 years, maybe, yeah, 3. We'll say 3. They're going to have to pay his buyout, and almost just out of spite, so they have to continue to pay his buyout. He's not going to take another coaching job, but he's going to go into broadcasting. So he goes into broadcasting. He's a high name. You think Fox Sports wouldn't chomp at the bit about getting him on the Talking Heads panel?
Anybody would pay
and
to
then
have him.
LSU, because technically he didn't get another coaching job, they have to continue to pay his buyout, and he'll do it just out of spite. He didn't even need the money, but he'll do it out of spite.
He would. I believe that 100%. I'd love to see him on a pregame show, though.
You would. You would actually watch pregame shows if he was on it.
If he's on it and Nick Saban's still there, I would watch College Game Day.
Yeah.
I do like College Game Day. It's just tough to watch. I'm working or something, but the good old days of College Game Day. You get up and that's how you start your Saturday.
Yeah.
After a Friday night of partying.
I mean, Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend.
Poor guy. He hates his life after leaving the show.
I mean, yeah, what does he do?
That's what he said. Yeah, he said, he's like, I hate it. He's like, there's nothing for me to do.
Oh, that's too bad.
Like, poor guy.
Yeah. But he lost his fastball. Couldn't do it anymore. But let's go back to really quickly. I do think that I begrudgingly agree with you that it's a situation where teams should get penalized for doing what LSU did.
It's just not good for the game that was the biggest topic, was what he was going to do. I mean, people are interviewing him wherever they can try to find him.
Again, going back to the timing of like the hiring, to your point, and I'm starting to think about it more. It's like I mentioned the recruiting piece, but it's like recruiting is ongoing, and cast out boy James Franklin is proving that it doesn't matter when or where he gets hired. You've got until February 4th is National Signing Day. You have until the 4th to get these people to circle back around. You've got time.
You do.
Even if they had waited until after the national championship to officially hire Lane Kiffin, he would have been a lot of 24-hour days out on the road, but he definitely could still have recruited, and LSU could still have garnered the majority of the talent that they already were, and then possibly a few more in that timeline. They didn't necessarily need to do it right now, and it just kind of bums out. And then worse almost is now you look at Ole Miss. They should be on cloud nine. They've made the college football playoffs. It's pretty much a done deal. They're flying high in 11-1. Do you give them any chance of getting out of the first round now?
It could depend on who they're playing, but probably not. How could you? They're not going to be in it. They're not going to have the same coach. I don't know how many assistants are actually going to go with Lane, but that school is in turmoil. They just lost their coach. The mojo's gone. Whatever team is in the playoff, I'm hoping I'm playing Ole Miss.
Right. It's like right now, the projection that I'm looking at right now has Ole Miss playing Alabama. I mean, how can that not just be a bloodbath?
God, and how great would that have been if Lane Kiffin was there?
Right?
Yeah.
Great TV.
Well, you did mention that is the possible first-round matchup right now. There's a lot that can go on in these conference championship games. And I don't know how you feel, but there are a couple games, couple teams that if you look at what the projections are, Virginia could make the playoff.
Ew.
Tulane or North Texas will make the playoff.
And one of them is. One of those two is going to be in the 12-team playoff.
First team that comes to mind when I see this that should probably get in over both Virginia and Tulane, BYU.
So you're saying even if they lose to Texas Tech?
So Texas Tech, I know, the very first episode, I did trash them. And they did lose to Arizona State, which made it to the college football playoff last year. Great Cam Scatabo on that team.
You love you some Scatty.
I do. But it's still a quality team. But Texas Tech has been on a roll ever since. And they're projected to possibly get a first-round bye. Now, I know BYU went into Texas Tech and lost bad. But if BYU goes on a neutral field, and if they lose by 3 points, 7 points, you've lost twice in the year, only 2 losses, to a first-round playoff bye team. Do you not deserve to get in?
I mean, I'm not a big believer in quality losses, but I can see your point.
Over Virginia or North Texas or Tulane?
Well, UVA, I can see your point because they only had one win against a ranked opponent at the time, and that was Florida State when they were 8. Now look at Florida State.
They didn't even finish above 500, I don't think.
So where are the quality wins for UVA? What makes them worthy of a spot other than their record?
There were none. They didn't get to play Miami. I don't even think they got to play Louisville, who beat Miami, who had a pretty good year.
They did beat Louisville.
Oh,
they beat Louisville 30-27, but it was a squeaker.
Oh, that's right. I think it came down to the wire.
But then you look at some of the other games that they played. I mean, William and Mary, like whoop-de-doo. Washington State, which they barely won. UNC, the Bill Belichick UNC, 17-16.
Oh, that's right. And UNC went for 2 to win the game, and the guy fumbled it at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, and then their losses. They lost to Wake Forest and NC State.
And that's going to be a college football playoff team over it could be potentially over a school like BYU, Notre Dame, or Miami. We can get into those two in a second. But I do want to jump in the one team as well that I would say. So you're going to put UVA in there over Texas.
Yeah, shocker that you're rooting for Texas.
I mean, I am. Frankly, I thought it's been a pretty disappointing season. But they've beaten Texas A&M, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma. Are they getting kind of penalized for going up to Ohio State and playing? Because if they're 10-2 and they don't play Ohio State and they played, I don't know, let's just say North Texas, they're 10-2 with those quality wins, and their losses would be to Georgia, playing in the SEC championship game, and a Florida team that the record wasn't the best, but the SEC's never an easy out. So they could be 10-2. They scheduled a team outside their conference that's number 1 in the whole country. So you want UVA in over Texas.
The panel or whomever's making the decisions, none of them want that. For a multitude of reasons. 1, they probably think Texas is the better team. 2, it's going to draw more eyeballs. They don't want UVA. They don't want a bunch of those wahoos. No wahoos tuning in for that. And, I mean, if you made the argument that if they hadn't lost to Florida, then I would say, yeah, 10-2 with losses from Ohio State and Georgia, yeah, absolutely, they should be in.
Oh, I think they would definitely get in. I mean, Alabama is probably going to get in even if they lose to Georgia. So if Texas was 10-2, they'd be in.
I don't know, maybe. Of course, I'm a huge Texas hater, so I'm never going to agree with you on this. I think that Texas deserves to sit this one out, especially, and I think it's not so much losing to Ohio State, but I think what's really kind of killing them is the preseason hype. Everybody was like goo goo gaga over Texas all preseason. And when they come out flat against Ohio State and then you tack on 2 more losses, regardless of who the opponent is, it's perception over reality. And their perception going in is that you guys were supposed to be, running the table. And you have 3 losses? We can't put you in.
They've beaten Oklahoma and just beat Texas A&M pretty handedly. They're playing well
they
at
are,
the right time.
I agree. But it could be a situation where the powers that be, they just decide to bring a Texas in and they kick out UVA, and then you have a situation where you had, 2 or 3 years back when Florida State got pulled because their quarterback got hurt, even though their record...
They were undefeated.
And they didn't make it. Of course, back then, the playoffs were 4 teams, but they were demonstrative about not getting in. They were like, we're undefeated. How are you undefeated in a power conference and we're not even in the playoff?
Well, power conference is a bit of a stretch for the ACC. But the committee also said that it was, because they lost their quarterback and I think they still had to play at least 2, if not 3 games. They looked really bad in those 2 to 3 games. They did win, but they were against inferior opponents, no team that was ranked, because they said, remember years ago when Ohio State got in, when they had to have Cardell Jones, was because they stomped teams. Even though he was a backup, they ran through the Big Ten final. I think that's when they crushed Nebraska.
Why do you got to bring that up?
Any chance I get.
Speaking of Cardell Jones, he seems like the quintessential guy that just lives just outside of the state of the campground or the campus. Just like, hey, I'm Cardell Jones.
When your nickname is also 12 gauge, how do you not just walk through campus like puffing your chest out?
Still wearing your Letterman jacket. He's got his Natty Champ ring. That guy's ballooned to 400 pounds. Guaranteed.
Him or Jared Lorenzen,
he had a
who's
big
bigger?
Fat head.
A cannon for an arm.
Both of them did.
And that guy, that was probably the smartest thing he could have done, was gone pro after that.
Man.
Because a full season in college with him, it could have only gone downhill.
Wasn't he also the guy that got famous for saying, like, I'm not here to go to class, right? Didn't he say that? When people were like, there was some kind of issue with him being on academic probation. He's like, I'm here to play football. I'm not here to go to class.
He just told the truth. I like him even more. Walk around campus with your jacket on.
Yeah, strut, man. Yeah, peacock out there, big guy.
Man, he probably hasn't paid for anything in the state of Ohio since he's left.
Yeah, that's very true. So, in your eyes, you got UVA out, you got BYU in, regardless of win-loss to Texas Tech.
I do. Once again, if the committee wants to sit there and look at who the best teams are, you want to have the best teams in this. I don't know. BYU went through a better conference, not much better, but the Big 12 is a better conference. And you only lost to the same team twice. Now, look, if they get blown out, it could be a little different. But, they beat Arizona. They beat a Utah team that's played well lately and beat them really recently. Better wins than UVA has. Yeah. BYU might shock everyone and actually win that game. I don't think they will. But if they keep it close, I think they should be in. If I didn't love Texas, and if I'm being honest, first of all, I didn't see anything from Arch Manning to really label him as being the next. So I don't like these hype trains, and I kind of was rooting for them to come down to earth. But the way that they've closed out the year and the schedule that they've played, there's a part of me that I don't know if you should be punished for scheduling a top team at the beginning of the year, especially when you play in the SEC already.
You're diminishing the fact that, caliber of opponent, huge, right? But running the table or one loss here, that's got to mean something, right? It's got to mean something. And, for a Texas team, I know, again, you lost the 3 power, conference teams. But you look at a team like James Madison University.
Oh, here we go.
James Madison University, 11-1.
You've got to be kidding me.
Wouldn't you want to see a James Madison in the college football playoffs? Just for the story. Look at these little,
It'd be like when George Mason went to the Final Four.
Yeah, man.
Look at these Virginia schools.
Look at us just, repping.
No, because, and I'm going to say it like I think I said on the first podcast, put James Madison, put UVA. Who did UVA lose to? You said Wake Forest?
Wake Forest and NC State.
Put UVA in the SEC. Let's see where they end up. I bet you they don't have a better record than Mississippi State. And Mississippi State won one game in conference. Seriously, UVA is not on that level.
UVA is not. So if you had to choose between UVA making the CFP or James Madison, who you taking?
Look, I dislike UVA so much in every facet, from the pompous pricks that they are to just wanting everyone to know how smart you are when you go there. I could never root for UVA for anything. So James Madison, of course. Yeah. Plus, I went to a few good parties at James Madison.
Yeah, just a few. I mean, yeah, they're a good old bunch up
there. My
there.
trips to UVA weren't that great.
Not great.
But no, James Madison would be so fun to see. I'd actually rather see them in there over like Tulane or North Texas, and that's just more because they're from Virginia.
Yeah.
And have that like little bit of connection to them. But James Madison, I mean, hey, your boy at Indiana,
Signetti,
he created that program.
Yeah. And it's in his image, James Madison.
It would be kind of cool to see how they did. But boy, how great would it be if James Madison got in and they played
Indiana? Come on, you know that's where I was going with this. Like, that'd be so great.
It's must-see TV.
Must-see
for the state of Virginia.
Get your popcorn ready. Come on.
I'm sure people out in like Texas are like, James Madison, I ain't watching
What
that
is
game.
that? Where is that even? Like, you talking about Virginia? Is it in Virginia? I was James Madison from Virginia?
You sure they're not talking about George Mason? That Final Four team?
I mean, I agree with you. UVA shouldn't go. North Texas, I don't even know who they beat, if they had anybody.
That's what I'm saying. Have them play in a bigger conference and see what their record would be. But there's no way that they should get in.
Here's the reason I like to see Tulane. No, obviously, they got to beat North Texas. But if Tulane goes in, I would love to see it because, as far as I know, the Tulane coach, he's finishing up the season with them, even though he's going to Florida, right?
I want to give myself maybe half credit.
Okay.
For that.
Well, I want half credit too. Then.
For
half credit. I said that Florida would be in the Lane Kiffin sweepstakes, and that they wouldn't get them, and then they'd panic, and they just grab the first thing. Now, I said coordinator. I did say coordinator.
You did.
But I did say that they would be clamoring for Lane, and then once they didn't get them, they would go, and they'd go, Plan B. They'd rip open that Plan B envelope and then blow into it, and Tulane head coach, let's go! So I think I should get half credit for that. I'll give you half, because you said he was on the move.
I did.
You said he was on the move. Just to LSU. You really thought Tulane's head coach going to get the LSU job. Get out of here. You forgot how insane LSU's athletic department is.
That's probably about the only time. This is our fifth episode already? Mm-hmm. Out of all the episodes that we've done, that was probably the only thing that you said segment that I've actually remembered and taken to heart and thought, wow, he actually made a really good point, was when you made that about LSU and about how they'll just go for the home run. I was like, yeah, they're not going to take no guy from Tulane.
No way.
Like, even if Lane said no, they'd probably go and get Bill Belichick or something. Like, they would do something stupid.
Yeah, they'd probably try and pull Urban Meyer back or something like that.
They would have. And once you said, I was like, he's going to be so right. But I was just going to kind of hope that
you're praying that they would come to their senses.
But I knew that the Tulane coach was in hot commodity, and I love him so much I don't even know his name. But he's going to Florida.
Next up on our questionable, what we would argue, predictions that are out there right now for teams making it to the college football playoffs. Two teams that I think we both despise, but you're going to have to pick a side because it looks like one of these two teams is going to make it. Notre Dame or Hurricanes. University of Miami.
I used to like the U when they had like the Clinton Portis, the Ken Dorsey team, Andre Johnson, Santana Moss.
Okay, we could be here all day. We could do just a podcast just on naming.
I know. I know it so well because it was one of the most memorable moments was that national championship game where they just sucker punched those Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Okay, easy there.
Look.
Where was Penn State at the time again?
Look.
We were playing for the Natty. Where were you?
You guys didn't show up to the game.
You're probably off in the showers with Sandusky, doing whatever you guys do in the showers with Sandusky. playing grab booty. I can't say it. I can say it. Grab ass or whatever you want to do.
Look, you started this podcast off with, I'm right about something. I had to try to bring you down. That head was getting way too big.
Yeah.
We're not on video now, but head's twice the size.
And I already got a big dome. Like, this is a 5 head right here.
Forehead is like blinding right now.
Yes, it's ricocheting that light. But no, you said you can't stand Miami.
Not now. I can't stand Miami, and it's mostly because of their quarterback. But if I'm being honest, I truly think Notre Dame should get in, even though in Miami beat them. I think it matters a lot what you've done in your schedule. I think it also matters a lot of how you're playing right now. And Notre Dame has won their last 10 games, all by double digits, barely lost to a Texas A&M team that had a healthy Marcel Reed. Texas got a little bit lucky. The guy's so great. He basically broke his ankle and still came back in.
Yeah,
to play.
even though he's officially not going to win the Heisman.
No, he's not.
He's, officially not the Wunder Kid, even though he's still pretty wonderful. You're still going to be banging that drum, for sure.
I care about how you're playing now and how you fared through the season and who you've played. And Notre Dame, to me, has just played better teams, and they've beaten teams on a more consistent basis, and they're getting hot at the right time. That running game, the defense.
Yeah, Jeremiah Loves, he should be top 3 in the Heisman.
I think he might be. And I also do take into account as well when you go on the road and play a team. So they went into Miami and lost. Neutral field right now, I think 7 out of 10 times Notre Dame wins. I put them in. And I hate saying that because I do want to be a big, but if you beat the team, you should get in. So I know that's probably where you're going to go with this, but Notre Dame has the better shot at winning a national championship than Miami does to me.
Call me a pitchfork because it's a 2-prong. I got a 2-prong why Notre Dame can go pray to Jesus.
Okay.
And not to the
prong one.
Prong one. Exactly your point. Lost to Miami. I don't care if it was the first game of the year. You lost. You lost to the Hurricanes. If there's a tiebreaker, that's it. I don't care about style points. I don't care that you beat Arkansas 56-13. I don't care. I don't care that you beat Navy 49-10. I don't care. The other reason, the other 2-prong, is Notre Dame can go fly a kite for all I care about because I hate the audacity they have, and it's the same reason that I can't stand teams and campuses like LSU. You just think you're better than everybody else. I can't stand that Notre Dame is this, I don't need a conference. We're going to be different. We're independent. We don't have a conference. In every other sport, they're in what conference?
They're in the ACC.
They're in the ACC. But for some reason, their football team is like, no, we're not going to join your conference because we like being different and we like being independent. And I feel like it gives them an unfair edge because they never have to play for a conference championship. And they get to pick and choose their schedule much different than any other team gets to.
So they mostly do play ACC teams. More often than not, it's ACC teams.
More often than not, but they have more control over their schedule.
Not as much as you would think, I don't think, anymore, because they have to play USC and Stanford. They do end up playing 4 or 5 teams from the ACC. And then they threw in Texas A&M. They generally have one of the tougher schedules in the nation almost every year. They do go out and hunt some of the best teams. I'm just going to call it outside of the ACC because they're kind of an ACC team, but they really do schedule some tough opponents. And of course, they're going to schedule some not so great ones. For all you know, Arkansas could have been pretty good this year. But, they schedule it decently in advance. But they went and tried to play 2 SEC teams. Where was Miami and their non-conference schedule? Did they go out and try to play anybody? No. So they're just going to sit there and whoop up on some ACC teams while Notre Dame's out there. USC, the great rivalry there. Stanford's down now, but has been up. They play a better schedule than any team in the ACC does.
Maybe an argument's point, but again, from the principle thing, I can't stand that they are allowed to kind of do something that no other team is allowed to do, and they get praised for it.
I mean, I'm not a big Notre Dame.
It might be too much on the nose, but it's very holier than thou.
It absolutely is. They think that they're bigger than the game itself and that the world revolves around Notre Dame football.
Yeah, and for them to say, touchdown Jesus or whatever it's called.
I know.
They can get away with it and it's not sacrilegious. And I'm not even a religious person, but I'm just like, this is ridiculous. So
I would love to see. I would almost pay money to listen to you for like 30 minutes. Do your 12-team college football playoff and your why some teams are in and why some aren't. But just the amount of bias that you would
so
put
much
into
bias. Texas wouldn't be in. I don't care if they're undefeated.
Nebraska would be a 1 seed.
We wouldn't be a 1 seed because we gotta earn it. I don't want to show too much favoritism.
Okay.
Maybe we'd be like a 7 seed.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, let's get in.
You don't want to host. You don't want to host a game.
I mean, we would, and we kick some, and we'd be the most gracious fan base out there. Hey, come on in. Yeah, it's like, have some corn.
I like that. I like that's where you've had to dig down to. Is basically you want people to know how great the fans are.
Hey, we're a classy bunch.
Team sucks though.
Yeah, Penn State's way better now, guy.
Hey, rumor has it. My source still isn't. My source still wasn't wrong.
Your source is still just a source, right? You're still holding out to hope that DeBoer is going to the Beaver Stadium. You like what I did there, DeBoer to the Beaver?
You're clever sometimes.
Sometimes. It's the caffeine.
From the Jones Soda.
Ah, the Jones Soda, yes. Our unofficial sponsor, Jones Soda. When there's no Coca-Cola around, have a Jones.
You can put any picture you want
on
the label.
You can. And you can send it to your friends. It's a great gift.
It is the Christmas
season. I got
season.
a case for my birthday. Shout out to Seabear. Great gift. Got a case of Jones Soda.
God, I really wish they were a sponsor because this would be perfect. Save 20% now if you place your order in by December 12th.
Just use code BIGO for life or something like that. I mean, we talk about a lot of these teams that were like, should this one get in? Should that go in? I think that you and I would both agree. It's like, there's a part of us that think none of these teams should get in. And it really should boil down to, and we talked about, is it boiling down to this? Is it just going to be Big Ten versus SEC at some point?
They have it in basketball, the tournament that they play within the conferences. The playoff might as well be those schools. Other than Texas Tech, I think the first 6 or 7 seeds are Big Ten or SEC right now.
Yeah. Right now, the predictions, at least from the site I'm looking at, I'm not going to give them any credit because they're definitely not a sponsor.
Heck no.
But Ohio State, 1, Big Ten. Indiana, 2, Big Ten. Georgia, 3, SEC. Texas Tech, to your point, they've got the bye right now. And then you go a little bit further down the list. Oregon, Big Ten. You've got Texas A&M, SEC, Ole Miss, Alabama, Oklahoma. And then you got a smattering of, again, Notre Dame, North Texas, and UVA, which, again, they're just cannon fodder of whoever they're going to play against. This is really what we're coming down to. It's the Big Ten versus the SEC.
Which I absolutely do love. I think I'd feel different if, Penn State, Big Ten, so I'm a Big Ten guy. And I like the SEC, but yeah, if I was like a Pac-12 or Big 12 guy, I don't know if I'd care for the playoff as much.
No.
But it's the best teams. That's kind of why you kind of helped make my argument. I'm glad you read them all out. Texas should be in there then.
Ugh.
You play in a conference with all of those teams. How could you not be in there if you've beaten more of those teams than you've lost to?
Because they're Texas. And again, we already talked about this. I think that I do honestly believe that the preseason hype was their downfall.
They really haven't looked great. Arch Manning, the defense has played well, and Arch Manning seems to have a couple plays here and there that are great. But they kind of remind me of like, and we'll get into the NFL in a second, kind of like the Philadelphia Eagles a little bit, where it's just, there's just something off, or like the Chiefs.
It just doesn't, something's not adding up.
Like you just watch Texas, and when Texas...
It looks a little dysfunctional.
It just does. They're trying to piece things together. A drive doesn't ever look smooth. It's like there's always a penalty. There's a drop. It takes a defensive holding call to give them a first down that they'll end up scoring on, and it's...
Do you think Sarkisian's on the hot seat?
Beating Texas A&M.
Maybe saved his job.
I would almost say if Texas probably, if they had lost that job, would have maybe seen who was out there. And if they think they could have found a better coach, would have gone after him. But I don't know if they would have just like fired him to just be like, we're done with you. But I think they would have been looking for someone better.
I don't know. Penn State did it with James Franklin.
What?
They fired you because they're done with him.
That's so much different with Franklin. It'd been 11 years of the same story, nothing there. Sarkisian's still kind of new. And
How long has he been there? Was it 4? 4 years?
Yeah, and he's taken them to a college football playoff. They're building something. They're continuing to get really good recruits. It's a tough conference, but he's managing well. But yeah, that Texas A&M game, I think, officially took him off the
I'm
hot
going to
seat.
need you to play this back and listen to what you said, because a lot of the things that you're giving Sarkisian excuses for, you could say the same thing about James Franklin. Tough conference. Keeps getting recruits. Building something.
Do it for about 7 more years. If Sarkisian if they're having the same record and not getting into the playoff, but see, that's the thing. Already Sarkisian has beaten Texas A&M. James Franklin has not beaten they beat Ohio State once when they were already out of the top 25 and had no chance for anything. When something's on the line, Franklin failed every single time. Sarkisian has already done better. He's beaten Oklahoma, a playoff team, and Texas A&M, a playoff team. Franklin never did that in 11 years.
Okay, I'll give you that. Couldn't win the big game. We've kind of beaten that to a pulp. I don't know if we can go any further than that.
I can't wait to do it when he takes over Virginia Tech, because he's taking all of the Penn State recruits, which means to me, good riddance, because they are just he must recruit like a loser mentality.
Wow.
Or like just...
Them Hokies coming for you, Simcoe.
When they get punched in the mouth, just kind of like wilter and wither away and cry. Because, good, Tech, I'm glad you got all those players. Because they're going to whoop ODU. I hope you guys do. And they're going to show out. And these defensive guys are going to have 3 or 4 sacks and pitch a shutout. And then when Tech goes and somehow plays, I don't know, Notre Dame, you're not going to hear a peep from those guys.
So much sour grapes. I love it. You're just like you're like a guy that breaks up with like a 10. You're like, good riddance. I hope you enjoy dating professional athletes and models. Good. Yeah. Good luck going to a nice steak dinner with them on their keto diet or whatever.
Nothing's ever going to be better than me. Yeah.
Oh, man. So we went through the college football playoff predictions, what we liked, what we didn't like. Time to go on to our it's time to revisit. I can't believe it's only been, 4 weeks since we did our NFL playoff predictions?
I do want to say before we get into it, I'll make a quick little disclaimer in the show notes.
Uh-oh.
We're not doing a podcast next week. I'll be on vacation.
That's right.
So think of this as like a double episode.
Whoa, overstuffed, double stuffed.
Oreos. Right in time for the holiday season.
Yum, yum.
I do love me the mint chocolate Oreos.
Why you just stop messing with the original? The original is the original for a reason.
I didn't get all crazy and say I like the double vanilla cream cookie ones.
Yeah,
mint chocolate.
That's Seabury. He has like playoffs of his own with all the Oreo flavors at his office.
They take up like 28 feet in a grocery store of space. Insane. It's nuts. But, so you can kind of stop listening now if you want.
No, you don't.
And then pick up next week.
You can pause it.
This one.
There you go. Yeah.
So you don't have to think of the 2 hours you got to listen to us.
It's like a second serving.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like leftovers.
Yes.
After Thanksgiving.
Don't go through the full 2 hours.
Well, unless
Power
you want to.
If you do.
Yeah. Hey, man. Yeah. Raw dog this episode.
If you do, let us know.
Yeah. If you can make it unhinged all the way through, shout it out in the email.
Please do. But yeah, so this is kind of ending episode 1.
This is the intermission.
Part
this is the
one.
Intermission of a Broadway play. Yeah. Go have a potty break. Go get some refreshments.
Get a snack. Get some Oreos.
Mingle at the water cooler. Well, I truly agree with Bigo on those last comments. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
That Jason guy gets angry at everything.
That Jason guy sounds hot. What's this deal?
I've been told I have a decent radio voice.
Yeah, you got a face for it too.
I don't see you on camera either there, buddy.
Don't look at me.
We'll get this thing up live and running. Video one day.
Yeah, we will. If enough people ask for it. Clamoring to see the ugly mugs.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Get some guest hosts on in studio.
Yeah. We should get like a police sketch artist to come in, and we try and describe what each other looks like and see how close they get.
I like that.
Yeah? Now we just have to find a police sketch artist. Do you know any?
There's a police officer that lives down the street from me.
1,000 run-ins in the law that you've had?
I think we could go toe-to-toe, my friend.
Yeah, no, I beat you. I would beat you there. But yeah, so there's your break. There's your intermission. We vamped enough where you could have stopped and started. So we're starting back up. This is part 2 of the Overstuffed, Undrafted, and Overconfident after Thanksgiving special. How about that? Was that a mouthful or what?
Let's go. NFL time.
4 weeks. Big NFL episode, all right? We're getting to the end. We see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yet it still seems like so much could happen.
So much. This season, we sound redundant when we say this, but so many ups and downs and sideways, this way or that way, trading off the leaderboard, it's wild.
That's what, and once again, the NFL is so great because it's not a very long season, but it's long enough to where you could struggle out the gate and come roaring back, or vice versa, come back to the pack. Make runs, so it just keeps it interesting. And since there's but so many games, almost every game matters. So even with 3-4 games left, everything could change. And I am so excited because I'm ready to start this. You want to start last episode with how great you were, how smart you are.
Yeah, just like every episode. Story of my life.
Story of your life. Well, not this episode, my friend.
Okay.
Because I believe a couple of your predictions, you really are going to have to explain them now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it week 18 already? Is the season over?
It might as well be for your teams.
That's rude.
I believe your Super Bowl. Please, can you refresh us with who you had in the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Even though I know, I just want you to say it.
I had the perennial winners, Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I had the hardened Detroit Lions in that Steel City, Motor City, Detroit.
Whoa. Steel City?
Whatever.
That's Pittsburgh, buddy.
Yeah, they're way better.
No,
You're
get it right.
Okay, sorry. Motor City.
And Detroit softened a little. They're limp a little.
They're okay. They're fine.
Both your teams aren't going to make the playoffs.
Okay, you're putting that on the right now. You think that both of those teams aren't making the playoffs?
The Chiefs are definitely not making the playoffs.
2 games out from a wild card spot.
With like 3 games left. 4 games left.
4 games left. They just got to catch up too.
They have to win out.
Yeah.
And need a lot of help.
Agreed.
It ain't happening.
Okay, all right.
The season's over.
Love the confidence. I will say that I am definitely eating my serving of humble pie with that pick.
You should be a little nervous over there.
Not nervous. You know, I do think that they have enough vets on that team that can stable the ship, and they can make a run. I mean, the problem is that, and I think this is where I got a little bit overconfident, is that when we did our predictions last year, I didn't take into effect the schedule, the upcoming schedule, as much as I should have. Because when you talk about the Kansas City season for the rest of the way, they got the Chargers, they got Denver, but then they got some cupcakes. They get to play Houston at home. I think that they're going to take care of business with Houston.
That defense made my Super Bowl winner look pretty pedestrian.
Yeah, but their offense ain't exactly something we, clamored about either.
Yeah, can we go on a quick sidebar? Is everyone at the point where they're kind of like, maybe CJ Stroud's not that good?
I was there before the season started.
Were you really?
Last year, I was like,
okay,
he's not what everybody thinks he is. I mean, I know that everybody remembers that game against Georgia where he was just playing lights out in the national championship.
Yeah.
You remember that?
But even his rookie year, he was flinging it everywhere.
He was flinging it everywhere, but again, we talk about this where he's not the newly formed model of a quarterback, right? He doesn't run, and he doesn't have the pocket person. And then everybody wanted to blame Tunsil and his line for his step back, but maybe he's just a guy that just holds onto the ball too long. He doesn't go through his steps and process. And I hate to bring it back up, but his Wonderlic score?
I mean,
maybe there's something to it.
It's kind of like, I think that too, where I'm like, okay, you came into the league, no one really knew what you were about.
Didn't have any tape on.
Low expectations on you.
Yes, very low.
And then you balled out, and everyone thought that you and Nico were going to be the next 1-2 punch. And then maybe these teams I kind of call it like the Adrian Peterson snowball effect, where, he ran for 2,000 yards that one season. You knew he was getting the ball, but the NFL season's so fast, you just don't really have time to adjust.
Yeah.
And so they knew he was getting the ball, and he just continued to run for 150 yards a game. The next season came, everyone got to prepare, and he was nowhere near as good. And so it's like, okay, kind of like the Commanders last year. We won't get into it, but it's like no one really knew what to expect from that offense.
Sure.
And then now they got more film.
They got a whole
time.
year of film. I talk about this all the time, how it's like, I can't trust a 1 year sample size, especially for a guy that's just coming in the league, because it takes a time. Well, I don't know why I sounded Italian right there. It takes a time, but it does take time for defensive coordinators to figure out where this guy's eyes are going, what he likes to do with his reads, who's his go-to, who's his safety valve, all of those things, where he likes to move in the pocket, right? And they take into effect all that stuff. And when you have a full year and a full off season to prepare and prep, they probably have booklets every week. Okay, I know what my schedule is. Okay, now it's time to do our homework on this, and they're doing it all in the preseason. And we're like, we know what this guy likes to do, and this is how we attack him. So yes, I do think that C.J. Stroud, I don't think he's a fraud in any sense.
No.
I just think that he's kind of leveled out as a middle of the road quarterback.
It's kind of like, 'cause he's been out with a concussion, and you kind of sat there and thought that, wow, I mean, he comes back, that defense, they're going to light the league up again, right? Because he was
their defense is incredible.
To.
It's a great defense.
And so then you figure, okay, this guy comes in, and you're going to expect wonders. And yeah, it hasn't really happened. And I think, well, kudos to you for being off the bandwagon, because I think I just got off of it. I was still sitting here thinking that he could be the piece that gets them over the hump. He could be that good. I don't see it anymore.
They've got talent around him. You can't say they're not. I mean, their running backs leave something to be desired, but Dalton Schultz is a good tight end.
Yeah.
Nico is a true one.
I would love to have him on the Steelers over DK Metcalf any day.
Jaden Higgins, their rook, he looks like the real deal. And then you got a good slot guy in Kirk. Christian Kirk's a good slot.
Out of Texas A&M.
Okay, whatever. Dang, Texas A&M, it's the wide receivers. Mike Evans and Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I see you, Aggies. But going back to my not out, down but not out, playoff / Super Bowl prediction, Kansas City Chiefs. Next up, they get a brush off that terrible loss to the freaking Cowboys. Ugh, why did it have to be the Cowboys? They get to play Houston in Arrowhead. And I feel like if there's any team in the NFL that really counts on that home field advantage, KC's probably in the top 2 or 3 with the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And I don't know, throw any other team in there you want to.
I probably would have put the Saints when they had Drew Brees. That was a place you didn't want to go into. Not anymore.
Then they get LA at home again, and the Chargers. Oh, my wife's not listening. Maybe feel free to skip over this, but they are not legit. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
I was thinking that this will be them coming in and at home playing the Raiders and just showing why they should be considered a contender, and all they did was kind of fumble over themselves for a full half, maybe even 3 quarters. They got the W, but it was not pretty.
That divisional game late in the year, take the win.
Herbert broke his freaking hand in that
He said
game.
he's good to go.
He's good to go. Yeah, I'm sure that you look at Jaden Daniels. I'm good to go. His elbows flopping around like a loose spaghetti.
Yeah, but he's a toothpick.
How dare you?
I'm not wrong.
But I mean, listen. The next 3 games: Houston at home, LA at home, Tennessee.
That's an easy win. Yes.
I would say that you could realistically see them hitting those 3. All of a sudden, 9-6.
And the Denver Broncos will be 13-3. The Chargers will still have a great record.
I'm not saying they're winning the division. I just need them to get into the playoffs.
The problem is they've lost to the 7th, 6th, and 5th seed right now in those playoffs. So yeah, they lose the tiebreaker to any of those teams right now. So they need to outperform them by 3 games in 5. They need all those teams to lose 3 games, basically.
Hey, crazier things have happened.
Crazier things have happened, but boy, you wanted to say something about Jacoby Myers going to
man, dude,
Jacksonville.
Do I feel like a Dwight Kirsch right here? Don't just say it was me. It was both of us jonesing on. Okay, Jacoby Myers is going to be the thing that saves him. You did not do. I
said it in jest. I did.
Temper that. Yeah, so my predictions are not in a good place right now. I will admit to that. But don't act like your champs are looking much better. The Buffalo Bills are literally, right now, the last seed in the playoffs.
They're in right now. They went into Pittsburgh, beat
careful.
Tied for the division lead.
At
6-6.
What an awful division. What is going on over there?
It used to be such a great division. I don't know. It can't always be the best division ever. But, yeah, that was pretty disappointing to see how far the AFC North has kind of fallen. But I will say I'm pretty happy with almost all of my picks. So far, they're all looking really good to happen. I think the only one that might not is I think I had the Chargers winning the AFC West over the Broncos, which could still happen. I think we're both kind of... Now, Indianapolis has gotten kind of hampered with some injuries.
Yeah.
But we did kind of still think that was a foregone conclusion.
Yeah. I guess, you threw some shade, so I got to throw some back at you, all right?
I'm right here.
You're champs. This is their year. Buffalo Bills are going to make it. They're hanging on by a thread. Their next 3 games... Cincinnati with Joe Burrow back. T. Higgins going to be back. Jamar Chase off of suspension. So they are at full strength. Then they get to go play in Foxborough.
Payback.
10-2 New England Patriots.
About to be 11-2 as we're recording this because they are whooping the Giants.
Yeah, shocker there.
I know.
I mean, they got Cleveland at Cleveland, so unless, your favorite Shedeur Sanders comes out, their defense can only do so much.
I don't think he'll be playing by then.
Then they gotta go play Philly. So I'm looking at their schedule, and they've got 3 potential losses in the next 4 weeks.
It's must-win time. Josh Allen is going to put that team on his back again.
Will Billy hopes so, because that's his team in fantasy football. Will Billy's Josh Allen or bust.
Or Derrick Henry, where's he from? Yulee.
Yeah, that's right. Maryland. Local. What's up? What?
It's Florida.
He's not from Florida, is he?
Derrick Henry?
I'm going to have to Google it. I thought he was from Florida.
No, Yulee.
Who am I thinking
He set like the national high school rushing record down there.
What's Yulee? Why would anyone know what Yulee is?
I don't know. I looked it up like years ago or saw some tape from him. I was curious as to where he came from because he said he came from like some small town in Florida.
You were just looking at this freak of an athlete. You're like, this guy's like 250 pounds. He runs a 4.4.
How do you not want to see
where the heck is he from? What are they feeding him and where?
It is exactly the high school tape, exactly what you would think. He gets the handoff and 5 guys like jump on him and he just throws them all off, reverses field about 3 times and still scores while breaking like 25 tackles each run. It is really
It's a sight
bad
to see. It really is. All right. Well, we trashed each other's picks, to a certain extent. But I want us to go a little bit further. Let's go in a new segment that I was thinking that we could try, where let's both pick our namesake way, a undrafted team, a team that we did not predict them to make the playoffs that we're reconsidering now, and maybe one that we were just a tad bit overconfident in. And I'll let you lead the way, Simco. Who is your undrafted? Who's your team that you're looking back at 4 weeks now? Be like, I should have given them their due.
Well, like I said, my picks are actually holding up pretty strong right now. But I'm telling you, the one team that I'm the most scared of right now, that I think if the playoffs were to start today, I might have them winning the whole thing. And this is just based on how they've been playing. Dallas Cowboys.
Ew, really?
I'm sorry, man. Look, I've written off Dak Prescott. I didn't think he could ever get healthy again. They would have lost to the Chiefs probably by at least 14 points if he wasn't healthy and mobile. He looked like a 6 or 7 year ago Dak Prescott, moving around the pocket. That one touchdown pass that he scrambled up, went to the right, faked out a defender, and then threw it to Javonte Williams. He hasn't done that in 4 or 5 years. Makes me really think that, if he can stay healthy with those weapons. And look, you can say what you want about Jerry Jones, and I would like to talk about him more in depth because I don't think he gets a tough rap for some of the things that he's done, but I think he actually has made some pretty good signings. And look, he did get rid of Micah Parsons, but he at the trade deadline went out and did something, and this is going to kind of lead into one of my big topics about the NFL draft later. But he goes out and tries to build a team. And right now, that defense is playing well with the pieces that they've gotten from the Micah trade and from the trade deadline. And if Dak can stay as healthy as he is, that team right now looks really good.
I never would have thought in a million years.
I wouldn't have either. I never thought that defense could turn around mid-season. I do know that the Patriots, I don't know if they won the Super Bowl one year. I remember it was like an opening. They opened the season and gave up almost like 40 points a game. I remember like the Chiefs on the opening night put up like almost 50. And then all of a sudden, after week 6, it was like the best defense in NFL history. I'm not saying it's like that in Dallas, but it kind of is a little bit. They were awful. I mean,
they were the laughing stock when it came to the defensive side.
I think you literally started Caleb Williams the only time this year because they were playing Dallas. It was against me, of course.
Yeah, I was wondering why you would remember that.
Yeah, because I was like, Caleb's starting? I was like, oh, yes, what an idiot. He's starting. It's like, oh, it's against Dallas's defense. And then in the first quarter, threw like 3 touchdowns. And it's like, of course, because Dallas had a terrible defense. But now, I mean, they held the Chiefs to basically 7 points in the final 3 quarters. So, yeah, that's my undrafted team.
Before you go to your overconfident, I'm going to question that. I mean, yes, I understand how they're playing. You're like, you could see them going places. But if I recall correctly, because I think you got it in front of you, what your predictions were, you didn't even have the Bears making the playoffs. They're 9-3. They're 9-3, and they're playing well.
I don't care. I don't think they are. I'd have the Patriots going further than I would the Bears. This might be the first time in NFL history the 1 seed goes down in the same week. In the playoffs. I have no faith in either one of these teams. I'm sorry. And look, if they end up going to the Super Bowl, I mean, I will eat crow and you'll probably make me like snip this out and play it. But I have,
on a loop.
I have no faith. I have way less faith in the Bears than I do the Patriots. I buy the Patriots more than I did 4 weeks ago. My thoughts have not changed at all about the Bears. I'm sorry. It just
so they're 9-3 is
I don't care.
Not real.
Luck. Not real.
Luck. You know what sucks for me is that I feel like last year when the Commanders had the Hail Mary against the Bears, that was their momentum shift where they really started to turn it around.
It really was.
And this year, when Jaden Daniels fumbled that ball against the Bears and that lost us the game, that was their momentum shift. So we are forever tethered right now. Because if you look at it, after they beat us, they went on this run.
I don't say this often. That's a good point, Brandon.
Oh, man. Once every episode, and I appreciate you doing that. But, okay, so I already questioned your undrafted. I'm probably going to question your overconfident, but go ahead. What team were you a bit overconfident? You're like, ooh, that was a mistake.
Give me some of that humble pie.
Yum, yum, yum.
I was a little overconfident on my Buffalo Bills. I'm sorry, they're to win the Super Bowl.
To win the Super Bowl. This is their year, I believe is what you said.
They haven't looked as impressive as I wanted them. They look in the second half against the Steelers, they looked really good. But to win the Super Bowl, some teams in that conference that are playing really good. And Josh Allen's going to have to pull like a LeBron James down 3-1 to the Warriors and just literally carry that team.
Just carry them.
And he can do it.
He's got broad shoulders.
He does. He's still young enough to where, I mean, he can take all the hits and pounding that the playoffs entail, but he's not going to like it.
It's not going to be a pounding he likes.
It's like sticking a pineapple up there.
Oh, yeah, backwards.
So, yes, as much as I'm still going to stick to my guns.
You have to. You know, it's like we're not change our picks or we're going to stick with them all the way through.
But I am a little worried about that. And like I said, my picks are actually still pretty good. You know, the Buccaneers might get caught by the Panthers.
Which is crazy.
But injuries have kind of hurt them. Same with the Colts. And I didn't really have, I had the Bucs in the NFC Championship game. So I could have said them. But, yeah, the Buffalo Bills, I mean, if they did somehow make it to the Super Bowl, I don't know if they would win. So that's my overconfident play.
Okay.
What you got?
Man, so unlike you, I have many that I could say for both of these. So it's hard for me to pick one.
You're great this year with college football.
Great from college football.
NFL, not so much.
Not so much. That's okay. Again, things could change in 2 weeks. All of a sudden, 2 weeks, I come
back from vacation, and all your picks could somehow be in the playoffs, and all mine could be on their
the
way out.
The majority of my picks are still in a good place. New England, I believe I had the Chargers, Denver, and Kansas City. I did have Baltimore, but man, that's looking questionable now with that loss to the Bengals.
That offense Lamar has to just be really hurt.
Jacksonville, I could argue could be my undrafted, because look at them at 8-4.
Yeah,
in a bad division, but I still am not 100% on Trevor Lawrence. How they're not getting Brian Thomas involved after the year he had last year is still an enigma wrapped in a riddle.
Seems like there's something going on in that organization with him that we'll find out a couple years later. I hope it's not anything like personal with him, but sometimes you wonder. It
could just be not meshing with the new coaching staff. Yeah. Sometimes that's all it takes. But if I had to pick one team that I undrafted that I'm looking at it, because I picked 3 teams from the North in the NFC, I just ignored the freaking Niners. I ignored the Niners because, and maybe I was too caught up with the injuries, losing Nick Bosa, losing Fred Warner. Their defense hasn't missed a beat. They look fantastic. Of course, they were playing the Browns.
But that's what you have to do. You play a team like that, you need to beat them. Kind of like you said with your Chargers. They played a bad Raiders team and didn't look great doing it.
Yeah. But, the Niners, I know that they're in a tough division, but they're sitting 9-4. Brock Purdy's back. He's got time, not a lot, but he's got time to kind of work out the kinks and kind of get back to his championship ways. They're starting to get healthy on offense. Pearsall's back. Hasn't really done anything since, but he has time. Kittle's back. Juwan Jennings is back. Christian McCaffrey is still running like Christian McCaffrey 5 years ago.
Yep.
And again, I hate keep going back to the schedule, but geez, when you look at what they have left on the docket, they got Tennessee next after a bye, so they can rest up, take Tennessee on.
That's an easy win.
Pretty much 2 bye weeks back to back.
The Titans are a college football team. Okay, they would beat a college football team, but
not by much.
Not by much. Yeah, that's a bad Tennessee team.
And then they've got 3 hard games after that. They've got the Colts, the Bears, and Seattle. But again, they're at 9-4. They win 10 games.
Yeah, they'll probably get in.
They're probably going to get in.
It's weird. Funny you mention that, because the Niners are a team. Sometimes when you watch, I watch a football game, and I feel like it's when I watch the Steelers a lot, and sometimes even Penn State, where when they're playing a team, the other team will go down the field and score kind of at will, and then another team will somehow find a way to score. It's a long drive, it takes a penalty, but you feel like the other team is dominating so much. I felt like the San Antonio Spurs were like that a lot as well, where the other team will be shooting all these threes, the crowd's going wild, and the next thing you know, it's halftime, and the Spurs are only down 4.
Yeah,
and the Niners are the same way. You're like, I don't see much from them. They've lost some games, but then you look at the record and you're like, wait, they're 9-4.
Yeah, again,
how did we
just
miss
kind of
this?
Sleepwalked. Yeah, you know what? They're fundamentally sound, and that's what the Spurs were back in the day with Will Billy's favorite basketball player of all time.
The big fundamental,
Tim Dunkies, right there.
There were sometimes I didn't really feel like going to play basketball, but sometimes just watching him get in the post and triple threat and just the old school, it's so fun to watch.
Will Billy hated it so much. I could hear him grinding his teeth every time he sank a bank shot. He couldn't stand it. He hated it so much.
But you play just like him.
Well, it's just like you. You hate guys that are like you on an athletic club.
I hate Taylor Martinez. I hate Eric Crouch.
All the Nebraska boys. You would have fit right in. You could have been part of a long legacy of dual threat or option threat quarterbacks at Nebraska. That could have been you. It could have been you.
I hate that would have been me. But you're not wrong.
So that's who I would definitely put as my undrafted. Again, you could argue, and I think we both could argue that Jacksonville could go in there because, again, their defensive pieces are playing where they should, and their offense is starting to hum. So, I think that we both could have said Jacksonville in that regard. As far as overconfident, again, there's a list.
Oof, where do we start?
But I will go with the Chiefs. You kind of led on with the Chiefs, and I was overconfident with them, and I just thought we talk about this. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with this, that this is a quarterback-driven league. And it's the most important position in the game, easily, bar none. And they have one of the best. So I was a bit overconfident that he could literally do what you're hoping that Josh Allen can do and just throw these guys on his back.
I had them going to the AFC Championship game myself.
And getting it done. And the other thing, if you want to delve go Inception and go an overconfident, I was way too overconfident in that defense. I really thought that, Spagnuolo, pretty much the, assistant coach of the year or the coordinator of the year award. And then you look what happened in Dallas. I don't think they got a single sack.
No, but that's a good Dallas. That was always a good Dallas offense this year, even though they would just lose 40-38.
Yeah, I would have thought at this point, okay, maybe kind of like in a Denver mentality, one of the other teams that's just winning ugly. Kansas City would pick that back up. They'd start winning ugly. It wouldn't be pretty. Wouldn't be completely put together, but they would find a way to win. And that's what I'm missing with them right now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm overcoming. They are not finding that way to win those close games. And that's concerning because that was their superpower. Their superpower is like, don't give Mahomes the ball with 2 minutes left because no matter what, they're going to win.
And but that's such a fine margin. I don't know. Sometimes I'm a believer in, what comes up must come down and vice versa. And last year, and you can even say it the year before, when they went on the road and got to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl, and then the whole next year, last year, winning just about every game by 7 points or less, and it typically coming down to who has the ball last. You had a feeling that was going to run out. But I do want to go back to one thing that you did say when you made that prediction. It's either Patrick Mahomes this might be blasphemy, but I'm going to say this. I don't think he's really as good a quarterback as he went out to be, because you said this is the best wide receiver core that he's had. Why can't he hit them? I haven't seen him complete a deep ball. I've watched 5 or 6 games. He's hit on maybe one. He had a top 5 of all time tight end, Travis Kelce, in his prime, and had the unicorn of unicorns, Tyreek Hill, on that team. And he also got the benefit of sitting a year with Andy Reid, and you talk about a great coach. I don't know if Patrick Mahomes goes to Carolina and is drafted. I don't know if we see the Patrick Mahomes we do now if he doesn't have those weapons. He might be a good quarterback, but why can't he make it work with these guys and Andy Reid and find... because all he does, the game plan is... It comes down to third down, and I scramble and run for it. Why can't these guys get open if they're that good? What is it? Is it the receivers, or is it maybe they figured him out?
Maybe they figured him out, or again, you can look in a bunch of different directions. Maybe Andy Reid's play calling's gotten stale. He's been doing it for so long. Like, how much is he reinventing the wheel, or how much is he that Waffle House menu of a playbook that he has? It's laminated. I don't think he's making any new updates to that thing. So
teams have probably zoned in on it by now.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, that's the sampler section. I know what he's going to be calling from that area.
I don't know if he's a Rudy Tooty, fresh and fruity guy.
No, he seems like a meaty guy. He's probably got bacon, sausage, T-bone, and eggs slathered in cheese. That's probably what.
Boatload of French toast on the side.
Yeah. A little powdered sugar on top.
Maple syrup. You hungry?
Yeah, a little bit now. Thanks a lot. Where's the closest Denny's? Jesus. Yeah, definitely overconfident on them. Who I'm not overconfident on, who again, I was confident in them. You were not. I thought you would put them as the undrafted, but you didn't. The Bears. What they're doing. And I'm coming back to them because I have invested interest in them as Caleb Williams could be my starting fantasy football quarterback with Herbert going down. He needs surgery, so I got to start him. And I have to be confident in my fantasy football quarterback.
There is a little bit of, much like you had your kind of like bias towards like Notre Dame and Texas in our college football segment. Fantasy football is a gamble, and I waited on a quarterback and tried to draft everywhere else and thought Caleb Williams would hit. He did not.
Last year.
Very just last
year.
Swing
and a miss.
Big swing and a miss. He looked good in one game. Jacksonville over in London. The only game he looked good in. So there is some of that bias with him.
He was having that Earl Grey and some spotted dick. That's not offensive. It's a food. Relax.
Wow. Well played, though. Well
Google
put.
it. That's right.
Google it. But whatever tea he was having and whatever deek he was having.
Spotted dick. Spotted dick.
He should have before every game because that was the best game he's had in his whole career.
Yes, crush that spotted dick. No, but you're talking about bias. So you have this preconceived bias about him because he did you wrong last year.
He did.
And he burned you.
I had a great team, and then when it came to him playing, might not even get over 10 points. And that's unacceptable.
So you're forever never going to give him credit where credit is due.
No, I would. It can get into a later topic, but now that he has a good head coach and an offensive-minded head coach, I always thought the talent was there. So maybe this year I'll hold it against him and see how they do in the playoffs. That'll be a big one for me. If he does like I think he will and Drake May and kind of flame out, I'll be like a wait and see, but I'll be more like hopeful. But right now I'm kind of hoping they don't do well.
This is kind of a theme for you. You kind of hate on the second year QBs. You're still not sold on Drake May. Not a fan of Caleb. What's your feelings on Bo Nix?
Guy's a gamer, but he hasn't played that well either. It's not that I'm not high on Drake May or Caleb Williams or any of those, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix. I just want to see what they do in the playoffs. Playoff football is completely different. You know, the regular season, you can be like happy-go-lucky and just sling the ball around. I don't know. I have this funny feeling with the Patriots. You know, I think it was with the Super Bowl that the Chiefs played, I think against the Niners or Eagles, where one of those teams led the league in sacks and the Chiefs gave up the most sacks, and the Chiefs offensive line had the game of their life and gave up no sacks. I could see something where like the playoffs, everyone talks about Drake May and his deep ball and how he throws the best deep ball, completing 0 of them, and they lose the game because of it. Like, that's just the way I feel like a game like that would go for them. But it doesn't mean that they won't continue to be good and get better and, you know, get over that hump at some point. So I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, I guess we'll have to just wait and see.
I'm from the tribe wait and see over
here. This is why this podcast has to live on. So you have to get to that C part. We're waiting now, but we have to get to that C part, and we have to have it documented.
Like when the Patriots and Bears lose the first game of the playoffs as the 1 seed, there will be some kind of special moment, some kind of ceremony, something nice you'll have to say for how well I predicted this. So
where's mine? Where's my parade for my college football coach predictions so far?
You got 2 of them right.
2 of them's about to be 2.5. I got 2.5. You give me half.
I've given you a little bit of credit.
Yeah.
I told you the last podcast, the Franklin one was really good. Lane Kiffin, not so much. I feel like that's more on me for not seeing that, if anything. Not really you.
Don't give me credit. Just poop on yourself. Well, what about Penn State? Did we both say Manny Diaz?
We did.
Just Manny? We both said Manny.
But now the head coach at BYU looks like he's coming over.
Apparently that's the whispers. Oh, you're off DeBoer?
No, I want DeBoer. But
I know you want.
But I'll take BYU's coach.
Oh, yeah. Jeez.
I think if Alabama maybe does lose to Georgia and they get into the playoff and then they lose in the first round of the playoff.
There's a chance, you think? There's still a chance?
There's a chance, but Penn State might. Well, it depends on what BYU does. But I don't know. They might want to just really get a coach. So they might, whichever one of those guys is like first available, really go after. But I don't know. DeBoer leaving doesn't seem as much of truth as the BYU coach leaving.
Okay.
So.
Well, I want to get back to Caleb Williams real quick and then talking about like this situation that he's kind of gotten himself into now. And has it been the talent, or has it been like he finally has a good coach in front of him? Like, what's your opinion on it?
So that's one thing that I've been thinking a lot about. When I was watching that game with the Lions against the Packers and hearing that the Bears were the number one in that division, I was like, how the heck did that happen? And it's like, well, they got a coach that knew what he was doing. But then when you look at guys, when you look at Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones,
Zach Wilson.
Well, no, but that's getting to him though. It's like, so those guys have all gone on to like either different teams or gotten a different coach. Does it make you wonder then if maybe if Zach Wilson didn't go to the Jets, who have been nothing but dysfunctional, and actually had a legit coach, that he actually could succeed somewhere. Or, a great example too is like Tua. I forget who Tua's first coach was, but that guy, he's the guy that ended up suing the NFL. And
it was Brian Flores.
Yeah. He basically trashed Tua and said he didn't like his attitude, didn't like anything about him. And, Mike McDaniel, as much as he's struggling now, turned Tua into a Pro Bowl quarterback. Yeah. So it's kind of like some of these guys either leave, a lot of it seems to be New York, honestly. But if you can leave what are poorly run organizations, Baker Mayfield leaving Cleveland. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that if Johnny Manziel was drafted by someone else, he'd have a better chance. I don't know, Zach Wilson, if he went somewhere else?
Maybe.
Could Jamarcus Russell?
No, absolutely not. He loved that purple drink way too much.
But yeah, it just makes me kind of wonder if a lot of these quarterbacks really do have the intangibles to actually do it, and it just takes them being, once again, Patrick Mahomes. Andy Reid's the head coach.
He did fall into a great position.
Alex Smith was your starter. Same with Jordan Love. You got to sit behind Aaron Rodgers, see how a professional does. The Ravens, Lamar Jackson got to sit behind Joe Flacco.
Yeah. So, I mean, not only the argument, it sounds like it's not only for you putting the right coaching scheme or the right organization that knows how to do it, but there's also an element of you need to sit and you need to watch. Because those guys you just read off, Jordan Love, Lamar Jackson, Patty Mahomes, all of them got to sit for an extended period. Tom Brady, sat for an extended period of time instead of getting thrown to the wolves.
I think Joe Burrow, what he's done in Cincinnati is absolutely amazing. Even Peyton Manning, now both went through pretty rough rookie seasons, but then blossomed the second year. But those are like the only two guys I feel like that have the outliers. But it's a copycat league, and everyone wants to just try to find that rookie to like throw in there. Even Russell Wilson, he wasn't even. Remember they signed Matt Flynn?
Matt Flynn. Yes, it was.
Green Bay Packers record for most touchdown passes in a game, Matt Flynn. And the Seahawks sign him for a big money.
Thinking he was the guy.
Draft Russell Wilson in the third round.
He's our backup.
And he just outperforms Matt Flynn all through the preseason. But at least Russell Wilson wasn't given the keys to the kingdom, had to work for it. He had to be so much better that basically the coach had to say, and the GM had to go to the owner and be like, look, man, I know we paid a lot for this guy, but we got to start this rookie instead.
It's like I'd be interested to look at dating back, and I'm just going to throw out a hypothetical. It's like, because when did it change? When did it change from, okay, we drafted a quarterback in the first round, let's let him sit and marinate and let's let him kind of understand, to I drafted a quarterback in the top 5, I have to start him. I have to start him because we invested so much in this guy. And what it continues to come back to me, because I'm trying to look at it as when did this shift pretty drastically? And I take it back to, and because the way that I look at it is that it has to be a year where there was success at throwing these people to the wolves. And the year that it reminds me of is that Phillip Rivers, that Ben Roethlisberger, and that Eli Manning season. All three of them, first-round picks, all three of them pretty established careers.
Yeah.
And all three of them pretty great right out of the gate. So I wonder if that was the moment where they're like, they did it, and they invested that kind of capital, and look how successful they were. That is the expectation now. The expectation now is that if I draft you in the top 10, you better be ready to start.
The odds are just not in your favor for that. I think so many of these young quarterbacks, even Derek Carr, was he the one who got drafted by the Texans? Was it Derek?
No,
David Carr. David Carr basically has admitted that I got sacked 50 times my first year. I didn't have the confidence I needed to have to play.
It's funny that you said that, because when you started talking about these guys, what if they were in a different situation? That is who I think of the most. David Carr. I think of David Carr. He had the arm. He had the intangibles. Yeah. He seemed like a bulletproof first overall pick. And the fact that he just literally saw demons out there because he was getting sacked so many times. He's one of the real just failures that I always question what could have been with that guy. What could have been if he had a good opportunity.
Absolutely.
Because, that's the one that always kind of sticks out for me when it comes to this. All the other ones, not all of them, but I still feel like there would be flaws, and I try and think of like the things they do. Jamarcus Russell, you know.
No, he was never going to make it. I just kind of said that for
laughs. For gaffes. It was for S and giggles. Zach Wilson, I don't think that he has the mentality. Like, he doesn't have it between the ears. So I really don't think it mattered what position he was put in. And the immaturity, there's some immaturity there, and it's still there.
That is true, but that's also one of those where what if Alex Smith was the starter there? What if there was an established quarterback that could maybe get you right? I mean, what about like Josh Rosen, right? Once again, the immaturity.
There's the maturity again.
But Arizona drafted him and threw him right out there. He clearly wasn't ready, and you'll never know. We're playing that game, but it's just, if you had just say, Carson Palmer, who was at Arizona, and Kurt Warner, what if Rosen got to sit behind one of them for like a year or two and just really kind of learn, or at least get to see what it's like to be a professional? That's the problem. Like, we're gonna go just real quick. John Wall being the captain in your rookie season of an NBA franchise, while that sounds cool, that's great for trivia, and that's kind of a cool thing to say, that means you had nobody on that team that could show
that had a leadership,
guy.
Yeah.
And it kind of plagued him, I think, throughout like his whole career there. And it's the same thing with some of these rookie quarterbacks. Some guys are ready to get in there and go. I mean, not famously, but locally, Jonathan Allen, when he went to the Commanders, everyone was like, he's the leader of the defense. He's the leader of the team. That's not a good thing if your rookie is the one that's like setting the tone for everything. And that was like a young, dysfunctional team. And I think a lot of it started with like the front office. But yeah, I think some of these quarterbacks could have actually ended up having a pretty good career if they were just in the right spot.
Each one of them is kind of a case by case, but there's a few that kind of stick out to me where it's like, I'll use the maturity angle of it. You mentioned Josh Rosen. I mentioned Zach Wilson. And obviously we can put Manziel in there too. All three lacked that.
I think odds are those three would have failed anyways.
But you say that, but there's another guy that I would argue also had a lack of maturity, who's your boy now, Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
And I think that the difference between them is that he checked himself. He looked in the mirror. He's like, all right, I have to change. Something's got to change, and I've got to be humble. Because he didn't go straight from Cleveland to the Bucs, and he bounced around. He was on Carolina. Yeah. He was a backup for the Rams. He got a little bit of playing time here or there, but he was hungry enough and humble enough that he was like, just give me an opportunity. Just give me a chance. I think he sat behind Brady, didn't he, in Tampa Bay?
Yes.
He sat behind. So. I don't know if there's any kind of overlap there or not, or if they brought him in.
Brady's last season, I think Baker was on that team.
So, like, he was humble enough to say, "I will take a back seat and I will humble myself and I'll be a student again. Just give me the opportunity." And I think that's what made him different than a lot of those other quarterbacks. That he put his ego aside. He's still. I don't think he ever lost that mindset of I'm the best and I can will this team to win. I think that's always been ingrained in him. But he did put that to the side and say, I need to fight for this now. And a lot of those people that are touted so highly and lack that maturity, they get this air about them there. It's like, well, my S don't stink. And that's what happened with Manziel. You could argue that's what happened with Jamarcus Russell too, because he was being told, oh my God, like my arm's a gift from God and I can throw it from my knees 70 yards. And
over the goalpost.
Yeah, and the same thing with Josh Rosen. He went from UCLA, and I'm sure he was big man on campus there, and Zach Wilson the same thing. These guys, they lack the maturity, and then they have the ego to boot. Like something has to give for you to be successful in any element of the position.
Absolutely, but it's funny you did mention Eli Manning in a few minutes ago, and I think that more players, quarterbacks especially, should do what Eli Manning did.
No.
And refuse to go to certain teams.
Absolutely not.
And I'm going to kick it up one more notch on you. I'm done with the NFL draft.
Really?
Oh, we shouldn't have it.
Period.
Nope. No NFL draft.
No fanfare. Nope. No go to a different city every year.
Nope. I think, first of all, I'm always a player's guy first. So this isn't going to be the main argument, but this is at least a tad of it. Every other job that these guys have or that we have, we get to choose where we want to go. They get to choose what high school they go to, what college they go to. Now they got to sit here and wait for some team to draft them. What, do you get out of law school and you just get drafted by
a law firm?
Yeah. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, you're a paralegal for Judge Judy.
So this is the only area where this kind of happens. So one, I think it's better for the players. But two, I think it makes some of these teams and owners, I think it makes them a lot lazier than they actually need to be. And here's where I'm going to go with this. Bear with me for a second.
Okay. I'm going to come along this J-Bear roller coaster ride. Yeah. Get my hands up. Woo!
It's going to take a second.
All right. Oh, that's a long line. Boo. Go ahead.
Remember when kickers used to kick an extra point from the 2-yard line?
Yeah.
And then it was like an automatic, unless you were John Carney and the Saints and... your team just did 15 laterals to tie the game or to go down by 1, and you needed to kick the extra point to go to overtime.
Hey, the announcers jinxed them on that one, all right?
I mean, who misses that, though, in those days? And you lost your chance at going to the playoffs.
The pressure.
Like, the only missed extra point all year was that game. That was nuts. But it was so automatic. So these kickers, when they would kick from... I just remember growing up where it's a 45-yard kick, and you're kind of like, I don't know if he's going to make that. It's a tough one. So then they moved the extra point back to 37 yards. And how many games were decided in those first 5 years because these kickers missed these extra points? Yeah. Now it forced these kickers to be automatic, right? So I actually have the stat that basically
you would have kicker stat, just sports almanac.
From 55 to 60 yards, the percentage was 41% in 2004. It's 64% now in 2025. Basically, it's not like these kickers didn't try, but when kicking an extra point was easy, and then if you hit from 45, if you hit from 50, you were considered amazing. But now if 37's what you have to do to basically just do the extra point, teams are going to cut you if you can't do that regularly.
Yeah, raise the bar.
They raise the bar. I think these organizations for the draft, if you're a poorly run organization, like the Browns, like the Jets, like the Bears have typically been, why should you just get to draft whatever quarterback you want?
The best talent.
Why do you get to do that? You're obviously a dysfunctional organization. What good Cleveland quarterback has come out of there that they've tried to draft? What good Jets quarterback has ever come out of there? You're doomed to fail, and I believe it's from an organizational standpoint. The Bengals, until they got Joe Burrow. I mean, they got Carson Palmer, but they got the one pick. They've been terrible since they got those picks. I don't think they should have had them. So I think that these guys, now you could make some rules where, you only get a certain amount of money to spend. I don't know.
Salary cap, we're back to salary cap.
Something like that. But that's what makes this work is you have a salary cap, so you can't just go spend $50 million for Arch Manning unless you want to and then kill your whole team. But it's also one of those where, if, Cleveland sucks and they've got the worst record, why would you get to deserve to, let's just use Arch Manning. Why would you get to deserve to get him where, say, a team like the Broncos, right? Or the Cowboys, too. But the Broncos, they've got a great defense. They've drafted really well. Elway just seems to have missed on a quarterback. But they're actively pursuing guys. Why then all of a sudden do the Browns, who seemingly don't care? Some of these organizations are like your friend in a fantasy league that doesn't have a starting lineup.
Oh, you mean like Cole?
Yeah, like Cole. Cole, we're calling you out. This is your last year in a fantasy league.
Wow, he's throwing it down.
But this is what it's like with some of these owners, I think, because they're just we'll hopefully, like the Bengals, we'll just hopefully get a Carson Palmer, a Joe Burrow to turn us around. We don't really have to focus on what's going on behind the scenes. If it was like this with the draft, your boy Schoen probably wouldn't be with the Giants anymore because of the dysfunction that's happening there. So these organizations would have to raise their level and attract these guys to get there. And so owners would have to be like, maybe I should focus more on this.
I can see how you could argue that you're this quite imaginative theory.
I think it'd be easier to do.
And I can see how this could work in theory. But in theory, communism works. And I think that you're insane to even propose this. they're going to haul you off and throw you in a gulag or something like that, or even for putting this out into the universe.
Yeah, because I think that's something the NFL is, and these owners are
well,
vastly
then why stop
afraid
there?
of.
Why not do it for the NBA too?
Yes,
Why
you
not
should.
do it for the Major League? Because there would be no competitive balance whatsoever. There would be an imbalance, and this goes back to you just like, well, I love dynasties, and this ties all the way back to that.
No, I disagree. I think that
You'll have guys that should be number one overall picks, going to a team that's like, well, I'm going to have to sit for 2 years because they have an all-pro, but I'm happy to sit there because I'm going to be on a championship team.
See, I don't necessarily think that'll happen, though, because once again, you got these quarterbacks with their egos, hubris, just like you said, they think they're the best in the world. So they might say, I don't want to sit. I want to go and play. I'll be the savior in Cleveland. They'll think that they're that great that they can do it. I don't think you'll have a lot of those guys do that. But yeah, you know what, Cleveland, if you're a really sucky organization, yeah, you might miss out on Arch Manning that you wouldn't deserve to get, and you might get Shedeur Sanders.
It's weird. It's like you're trying to make professional football college football. That's what you're trying to do.
I think it would make for
like we're going to get a recruiting for, and I understand that you're comparing it to regular jobs, right? You interview the job, you choose the job.
You know what this is like. I'm sorry, I'm bringing it up every single time. It's European soccer.
Oh
with
my
a salary cap,
European
man.
soccer. It always comes back to European soccer
With a salary cap on it, though.
Yes, and again, this is where it comes, and I'm only agreeing with you in theory because I think this is an insane idea that you have here. It would only work if there was a salary cap.
Which there is.
That's the only way that it would work.
The only way I'd propose it is if there's the salary cap, which there is.
And again, that will never be. That will never be.
I think you would have better run teams. I think you'd have a better product that ends up on the field. I think it would stay just as competitive because you'd still have these college kids. Look, more times than not, 9 out of 10 times, these guys go to the teams that are going to spend more money. So chances are the Browns need Arch Manning, even though the Chiefs, let's just say the Chiefs, let's say Mahomes is a little older. He could sit for a couple years, but the Chiefs aren't going to pay him. He'd probably still go to the Browns, but the option is there for them to say, hey, I wouldn't go to that team if if I had a choice, but now they're going to draft me. I still think it'd play out more like it would. The team with the worst record would probably still go out and overpay to get the guy that's the consensus number one pick, but it wouldn't always be the case, but it would also then be like force some of these organizations to actually maybe think about so here's another example, right? I was watching, I think it was the All or Nothing with the Arizona Cardinals, or it was the Arizona Cardinals, right? And remember David Johnson, the running back?
Yeah.
Okay. So in the draft, in the war room with the GM and the coach and other guys in there, the owner might have even been in there. Third round, it's less than 100 picks in. You're third round. They wanted a running back. The running back that they had eyed all offseason got taken. They literally sit there and look at each other and are like, well, what the F are we going to do? And they're just like, well, who's next? This guy, David Johnson, is there. And take him. You're not even past the third round, and you didn't even scout these guys? Because you're just kind of like, doesn't matter if we're good or not or anything. We'll just find a guy, and there's really no ramification. But I don't know, maybe David Johnson, they didn't meet with him, wouldn't have been on the Arizona Cardinals because they would have had to try harder. I'm blowing your mind.
I'm just like, my head hurts because of how bad of an idea this is. But I the thing that I also don't think, you're only going to steepen the divide between great organizations and horrible ones, because if you allow the great organizations to not only pick their players or present themselves best by the players, and especially if they have a winning pedigree, like, again, they are going to get people that are going to take less money to be a part of that pedigree. You see that all the time. And then worse is that these poorly run organizations, they're going to continue to make, not only, you're going to compound the issue, because not only are they going to make poor decisions, but they're also going to overspend, and they're going to have less money. So they're going to overspend for guys while also picking the wrong guys, and then they're going to just dive even worse into, there's going to be such a competitive imbalance with this theorized, and that's why there's been such a, you want to go European soccer, there's a reason why
there's no salary cap.
There's no salary cap.
There's no salary cap.
Well, then why did we even bring up your? So what do you?
Because because you can basically buy players.
Yeah, and then that's why the Real Madrids of the world and the Man City and Manchester and
Paris
Chelsea,
Saint-Germain.
Paris Saint-Germain. Saint-Germain. Come on, man. Say it like it's supposed to be said. They're an outlier. Like, there's outliers in sports all the time, but usually it's going to be the teams that pay the most money that are going to get the best players. And I can understand where the salary cap could deflate some of that, but I still believe that in this theorized transition that you're putting through, pedigree organizations are going to have their pick of the players, and they're going to be sacrificing $1 million here, $1 million there to play for a well-run organization. And then the other organizations, they might pay more, but they're going to pay more and still be terribly organized.
You got to step your game up then. It might actually then force maybe the other owners to, like they did with Daniel Snyder, get him out. Get somebody else to own the team that's actually going to give the effort that it takes to win with that team. But I truly don't think if we let this thing run, and look, you could do something where, I don't know, maybe if you won the Super Bowl, you only get $15 million to spend, and the team that had the worst record gets like $30 million to spend or something. But I still don't think you'd have everybody rushing to go play for the Chiefs, because if you've got all these other players there, like in the secondary, I don't think you'd want to go to the Chiefs because you probably wouldn't be a starter. It's like college football, though. You don't see absolutely everybody going to Alabama. They'll go to all these other schools, and you still have schools that come out of nowhere that do well. But yes, I do think that if you run your organization well and you lead by that example, you probably should have a bit of an advantage, and other ones should try to catch up.
All right. There's one other really big reason why this would never work, and nobody would, outside of that little dome of yours, nobody would ever agree to this. The draft is fun. People love the draft, and it's a freaking moneymaker. Do you know how much the NFL probably makes just from hosting the draft, and when they decided to take it on the road, how much money that thing drives? This is a business. The NFL is a business, and they will never turn away an opportunity to make more money. Especially the amount of money that they make. I mean, they freaking have like NFL Combine hats and jerseys, and they've got draft specific hats.
I used
merchandise.
To be so into the Combine.
I knew you were. Yeah,
the Underwear Olympics.
Olympics. But I mean, the sheer fact of that they've turned this one night, or now it's 3 nights. Yeah. That's again more money. There's no way that they would ever turn away that opportunity. You see other sports. Is it really
that
much money? You see other sports. Yes, absolutely.
I'd like to see the numbers.
All right. Well, you vamp while I try and search for it real quick. Tell me a little bit more about your stupid draft elimination idea.
Well, I kind of went through all of my really good points I had for it.
That was your good points? Yikes.
They were great points, actually. I really do think that the last point you made about the money that the league wants, because that's all they do care about, that is a really good one to kind of take me down. And you're going to have a better product on the field. I think that's how it would go. I don't think it would be really as bad as you think it would be, as far as all players just wanting to go to all the best teams, because I think a lot of these kids have that hubris. I mean, look, man, Jason Pierre-Paul at the Underwear Olympics.
You love the Underwear Olympics.
He sat there and basically did backwards handsprings or whatever down like the whole length of the field for no other reason, just to let people know how great and athletic he is. You think he wouldn't want to go to... First of all, he'd probably go to the team that would pay him the most money. But do you think he wouldn't want to go to like the Browns or the Raiders and try to turn that around with all the hubris that some of these guys have? And shouldn't these guys at the very least have a choice?
No, they shouldn't.
Why? Just because it's the way it's always been done?
No, because...
It's the 2020s. Everything needs to change.
I'm sorry. I'm a little hypocritical in the sense that, no, they shouldn't get to also pick where they go. They are in rarefied air. They are getting to do what kids around the world would dream of doing for the rest of their lives, and they get paid ridiculous gobs of money for doing it. I'm sorry. You can't have your cake and eat it, too. I'm sorry if you have to go to the Browns. I really am. I'm sorry you got to do that.
I don't think you are.
But I'm not as sorry when I see that you're cashing $25 million checks. I'm not.
You know what? Honestly, though, if I was going to a professional sports league, you can't help but think of your own legacy and how that would turn out, I want to win championships, and I want to perform well, and I want to be on a good team. Why all of a sudden do I go to the worst run team that poor Myles Garrett? I mean, he could go somewhere else.
Well, there's your point. There's my point exactly. He could go somewhere else. How long is the average rookie contract?
Well, it's 5-year contract.
5-year contract. 4 years with a player option.
Yeah.
Right? After 4 years, you pay your dues, go wherever the hell you want.
And free agency is kind of like that, I will say. I mean, no team wanted to go to the Commanders when Daniel Snyder ran the team. So there is kind of that, but I think, this is my thing, kind of with the college football, like you should be punished and held accountable. So I want more. Just because free agents won't go to your team.
I appreciate that you're trying to put more ownership on the ownership. You guys suck because you suck.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't get rewarded for being run suckily. That's not even a word, but we'll go with it.
We'll go with it.
So I can understand, again, in theory, your mindset, but again, it's just never going to happen.
But wouldn't it be kind of great as well with the NFL? I mean, they'd find some way to make it like you'd have 3 or 4 days where it's open season, it's hunting season. Go out there and sign season, all those rookies.
We already literally put these players in like a cattle prod running routes where now you want to actually hunt them.
It's the most dangerous game.
Man is the most dangerous game. Well, while you were waxing poetically about this
amazing
utopian NFL that you're creating, I Googled it, and good old AI that's going to take over the world let me know that while the NFL draft does not directly generate advertising revenue for the league, the average or generated estimated in TV advertising they made $52 million. And that was in 2019 in Nashville, Tennessee. So that number's gone up immensely. When they did it in Detroit, the city generated, this is not an exaggeration, $213 million from the draft alone. A 2-day event, maybe 3 days at that time. $213 million. It's not going away.
Okay. So as we do this podcast, more and more will come out. I personally am a guy that I would favor going to a better team, better situation for less money. And that's not how most people are. So I personally, I don't look at the money as much. I just want to see like better content out in the field. So I am a little biased in that.
I can appreciate that I think that what you, at the core of it is that you hate to see talent wasted. Is that fair to say?
Especially when I don't think it's your fault.
Yeah. So I can appreciate that. Maybe we can test this theory out in fantasy. All of the fantasy players will want to come to Bigo's team because they all want to be a part of a winning organization.
I'm telling you, man, just putting your name in my team name.
Yeah, how did you win this week? It's just terrible.
I'm telling you, I win by playing the team that scores the least amount of points every week. I mean, I'm sitting at like the 5th or 6th seed at this point because everyone keeps jumping me with points, but I keep winning.
Who's still sitting at first?
I just look at your roster. I just don't know how long A-Chain cannot continue to put up the numbers he is. McMillan, what a lucky trade.
I mean, everything's turning up Bigo.
It just does. I know. I can only get but so far using your name, but when you're actually like controlling the team, you should be in first. If I'm in 5th, you should be in first. You should win every year, honestly. If you don't, there's something you're not doing right.
Oh wow! So now you're trying to you're turning me into Texas. You're putting all of this preseason hype that I should win it, and then when I don't, you're just gonna.
It's something wrong with you. Yeah,
it's gotta be. It's gotta be something wrong with me.
Well, look, we spent enough time on I think what's a wonderful thought by me.
Yeah, of course.
I think it's very creative.
It is creative. I'll give you points for creativity.
I think I had some pretty good points as well on it.
While you were doing your monologue, I was considerate. You had me there for a minute until I came back to reality.
You made my night by saying that too,
okay, by the way. Well, you give me some praise, so I gotta throw you a bone every once in a while. Man. We'll see. We'll see if you get a call from the league office or from the NFLPA and be like, you know what, That's Simcoe. Troy Vincent's listening to this Undrafted and Overconfident podcast, and that Jason Simcoe's got something there.
We have had a listener from New York, actually, so it could have been from the office.
God. Could it be Roger? Is Mr. Goodell listening?
I like to think it's someone in the NFL front office up there.
It's got to be that intro music that you picked. It just catches people, hooks them right at the start.
I thought so, too.
Yeah.
We got it all going.
Yeah.
Well, before we do kind of wrap up here, I think we should give a couple thanks because we actually got our first 2 emails.
Oh my
finally.
God. I mean, another benchmark.
Seriously, 5 episodes in and we're getting listeners' feedback. It couldn't be going any better.
I'm just waiting for underwear in the mail. That's the next step.
Well, they all know our address.
Yes, that's terrifying. I probably shouldn't have put that out there because I'm going to get some Sea Bear banana hammocks.
Well, you've already gotten
stuffed in
some
an envelope.
wonderful pizzas sent to your house.
Yes, I did. We can go on this story if you want.
Yeah, it will take but so long.
You know, just like many gentlemen around the draft, they decide to gather together and enjoy the festivities, the camaraderie, and the ribbing that goes along with it.
It was a gay old time.
It was capital G. It was a destination draft that year. Was it 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
We were down in North Carolina.
North Carolina had a little guys' weekend.
Yep.
I had a newborn, 1-year-old, couldn't make it. I've missed the last few. I'll be honest. I've missed the last few. Raising little kiddos.
It happens, man. We understand.
There's a guilt to running off and gallivanting with the boys. Didn't want to miss any first steps and whatnot. So
we
yes,
understand. We give you a hard time.
I was on the fence, though. I was on the fence. In fact, again, tooting my own horn, toot toot, I did pick that Airbnb for you guys that you guys stayed in.
That's kind of why we figured if there's anyone we had to do something to, it was you, because you really made it seem like you were coming.
I know. I gave you guys some false hope. You're like, he picked this place out. He knows the address. And I've done this before. I've done this. I'm not coming. I'm not going to be there. And then I've shown up on the doorstep. I did it for Dwight's brother, Justin Keys, bachelor party.
Greatest kicker in Virginia Tech history.
I did it for one of our Baltimore trips.
We should get him on the pod.
Dustin?
We can get Alex Gordon.
Whoa.
Dustin Keys.
Some pros.
Wow.
Yeah, and all relatives to friends or podcasters.
That's actually pretty cool.
But yes, I do feel like there was a little bit of sour grapes. But from what I understand, this special delivery I received at my home for the draft, was decided before it was known whether I was going to make it or not.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Yes. I'm sitting there just doing my draft or getting prepped, doing a little work. Kids are playing around me. And a doorbell rings, and I got the Ring camera. You're checking, it's like, not expecting any deliveries. It's a pizza guy. Okay. Babe, did you order pizzas? I didn't order pizzas. All right, well, let's tell him he's got the wrong address. Go to the door. Hey, I didn't order any pizzas, man. It's like, well, are you Brandon Gordon? Yes. Is this the right address? Yes. Well, these are your pizzas. Oh, great. And I was like,
free pie.
You guys must have been literally tracking that order, like step by step, because as I was receiving the order, I was getting texts from you guys. Enjoy the pizzas. Hope you enjoy the pizzas. For the quickest of moments, I genuinely thought, oh, they're nice of these guys. Or I thought the joke was you ordered me 6 pizzas. And I'm like, why did you order me 6 pizzas? I'm of one man, and my kids are not pizza eaters.
You've been known to put down some food.
I've been throwing down, yes. We'll go over the challenges that I have successfully completed on the next one.
And some not so successfully.
Not so successfully, yes. Oh, my God. I still argue that I won that.
No one won.
That's
that
not true.
Icons.
Nobody won at Icons. You're right. Nobody won, but I do think that I had... Okay, we're getting out on a tangent. Open up the pizzas, and immediately, okay, I see what they did here. And, ladies and gentlemen, if you've never smelt anchovies on a pizza, you haven't lived. Because that stench lingers. And then multiply that by 6.
Yep.
Because I had 6 hot piping anchovy-covered pizzas sitting on my dining room table as I was trying to draft. And
You're welcome.
Stunk up the house.
It does. When I lived with Chris Hunter for the second time up in Northern Virginia,
Couldn't get enough. You're like, gotta go round 2.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
But man, he would order anchovies on those pizza, and for like.
Did he really?
Yes,
on purpose?
Yes.
Okay.
Always sit there. You sure you don't want any, J Bear? All salty and stinky, and just gobble it up.
Yeah.
And smelled like
a duck. You won't even chew it. It's like down the gullet.
And for 3 days, you just got this fishy pizza smell.
I had to literally double bag those and throw them in my garage, and I could still smell it. Well, the bigger audacity though is that you guys assumed I was going to eat it. Like, how's it taste? I was like, I didn't eat that. Like, get out of here. It's like, you wasted my pizzas. You wasted the pizzas. Why would you order me 6 anchovy and I think it was pineapple?
Yeah, because you lived
I lived in Hawaii. So I was like, what a horrible combination. Pineapple, some people already think is blasphemy putting on a pizza. Tag team that with anchovies?
It was perfect.
Sweet and salty. I mean, it was a good combo in sweet and salty. I will not deny that there was a curiosity where I was like, I gotta at least try this. But
You didn't?
I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't. I mean, the freaking head was staring right at me. I couldn't do it.
That's the worst part about it, is you just see the whole stinking fish on there.
Just staring at you.
Yeah. I can't do it.
No, thank you.
But we were trying to get you off your game a little bit and also just kind of rib you. So I think it was successful.
It was a good prank. Didn't hurt anybody.
Nope.
Comical. I think Ill Will changed his team name to Anchovy Pizza times 6.
Yeah.
So it had some run. It had some legs, some lasting
We're talking
power.
about it 2 years later.
We are, yeah.
It was a good one.
It was a good prank.
Yeah, it was good, clean, about when you're like nearing 40.
But I thought about it. It's like, what if I had cast my family aside and actually made it down there? Those pizzas would have arrived to my wife, who probably would have already been, pun intended, salty about me leaving my 1-year-old. And then on top of it, to add insult to injury, she receives 6 stinky pizza pies.
I don't think that's how it went, because the draft was a day after we all got there.
And still no Bigo.
And
you're like,
still
he's
no
not coming.
Bigo. And then, I think you kind of tried to play that whole, I might be there, I'm trying. And then, I don't know, after like the 5th time, you kind of had us on edge, I guess. It was like, you know what, send them the damn pizzas. We didn't think you were, I mean, I don't know. I think we were like 95% sure you weren't coming.
Yeah. And God bless my wife. She always tells me to go. She's like, go.
Yeah, we get it, man. It happens. I hope that, because there's a slew of us that
still make it happen, man.
Our dinks.
You're holding out. I mean, you lost a dink. You lost a dink in Willbilly.
We did.
No more dink.
He has promised as well that he would always make it down for one of those trips, but I don't know. I think when you have the kid, I think it changes
it's
absolutely
it's
everything.
Definitely harder.
Yeah, which is understandable. My hope is that always maybe like years and years down the road and all that stuff, that like maybe not an every year thing, but I would like for at least at some point like really organize it, like, hey, maybe we can all get together for one weekend at least. Yeah. Like, when the kids are like much older and all that stuff. But yeah, while they're like super young and growing up, I mean, my dad never went on any of those kind of. The only thing I remember him ever doing was just he had to coach soccer. He had to get like a certain certification, so he literally went away for a weekend and had to get the certification. But that's the only time I ever remember him like leaving. So I get it. I hear you. Yeah. I just I'm gonna wait you guys out.
We'll come back. It's like the we called it the Be-More trip, Baltimore trip.
Yeah.
Because it started there, it originated there.
Yep.
And I'm still holding out hopes because we've seen, I'm not the only person that's fallen to the wayside. We've seen guys, like it used to be 10 strong.
Yeah,
10, 15
least.
strong.
Yeah.
I think the last one, you went to the last one, I think it was 4.
I did not, and it was 4. I made a last second, couldn't quite make it. But I think it was like 4 or 5 went.
So, I mean, the numbers have dwindled, but I am still optimistic too that we'll get the band back together.
Yeah,
the original members will all get back out there.
It's not like it's because no one wants to really do it. I don't think it's
life
just life happens, man, and totally understandable.
Well, we went off on one of our quintessential tangents. Let's circle it back. We have some thanks to administer here.
Definitely for first email from Dwight Keys.
Hey, did he give his Dwight curse?
He absolutely did. And much like him, I'm going to be pulling for the Patriots to win another Super Bowl as well.
So he put that in the email.
He absolutely did. He's pulling for the Patriots. They've been in the gutter long enough and deserve another Super Bowl ring with this state-of-the-art quickly retooled with stupendous drafting and moves, juggernaut of a roster. Go Pats.
Jeez, he's trying to scorch everything. He's trying to scorch the team, the drafting, the everything. He just wants it all to go to hell.
I think he wishes that they went over to like England and were literally, what was it in Family Guy? The silly nannies? And they changed their name.
There's something like that, yeah. I think you told me that he also referenced a few more of his more prolific Dwight curses.
Yes, he has unfortunately been some of the teams and players that he roots for. Malice of the Palace.
Yes, Ron Artest or Meta World Peace.
Whichever.
Most ironic name of all time.
If that's not just taking a 180 in mental health, I don't know what else is. Yeah. Paul George's bone coming out of his leg.
I remember that vividly.
Yeah, because Paul George was about to take over the NBA. I mean, he might have been able to compete with the Heat, and then wasn't it like a Team USA exhibition?
Yeah, it wasn't even for the NBA.
Nope.
In a game that counted.
It wasn't just an exhibition.
Shatter that sucker.
That was gross. He put Ricky Williams' early retirement on there.
Yeah.
He did have a couple good years with the Dolphins.
Fruitless, though. I mean, he had a statistical good year, but I mean, what do they ever do?
And then, of course, it's mainly because, after Dan Marino, once again, I mean, what great quarterback has not won a Super Bowl?
He's got to be up there, if not the number. If you're drafting a starting team in their prime at every position who hasn't made the Super Bowl, Dan's got to be helmet at a QB.
He's unanimous.
Just like Barry Sanders would be unanimous at RB.
But you literally had a guy that I don't think anyone had thrown for like 3,000 yards in a season, and he threw for like 4,000.
Yeah.
And made one Super Bowl. I think it was his rookie. I think it was his second year. High hopes, and never even came close again.
Hashtag Dwickers.
And then once Marino retires, and you think that that's over with, Tom Brady gets drafted by the New England Patriots.
Hashtag Dwickers.
Yet somehow, some way, the Patriots would always find a way to lose in Miami, though.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
His cursing just gave him enough hope. It's like, hey, but at least we beat them.
And then that was like their only loss of the season and won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
6 Super Bowls later. And then lastly, which I always hate because he was playing me in the finals, and poor Jose Fernandez.
Oh, God.
A night before he's supposed to start, which Dwight needed some good starting pitching, goes out and, unfortunately, in a boating accident, passes away.
Yeah.
But that didn't stop him from winning.
Yeah, but the Dwight curse...
It cursed him.
Literally has killed a person now. So he's got that blood on his hands.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's just 5 that he wanted to put on there. I'm sure there's probably
there's
5
a laundry
more.
list. Yeah, we could go on forever. So, but shout out, hey, Dwight owning it. He knows what he's capable of, for good or for bad, and there's some transparency and there's some self-reflection there, so I appreciate that, DW, for being the first to kind of represent the Dwight curse. Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for emailing in. And then, of course, we got a second email from a Mr. Jim Hunter. James Hunter.
You're not that familiar. You cannot call him Jim. I can call him Jim.
Apologies.
Yes, Jim and Trish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Hunter himself gave us a very nice email saying how much he loves the podcast and likes how we argue. And I do think we need a really good argument at some point.
Well, we had one. The Obi one was really
that was a good one.
Tenacious.
We've had some quarrels.
Yes.
I want almost fisticuffs.
Fisticuffs. You want to storm out of here. You're like, I'm taking my recorder and I'm going home.
I want when Eric Bickle jumped over and attacked JP Flame on live air. I want to see that.
This is a sturdy table. I don't want you jumping over my table.
No promises.
We'll have to put bubble wrap on or something like that.
We'll do that before the episode.
And my kids are sleeping upstairs. Come on, man.
All right. Fine.
When we get a rented place and we pay
our own
studio, then we can just punch holes in the wall all we want. That's fine. But yes, love the love, Papa Hunter. It's right back at you, big guy. Love you to death, and love that you're loving what we're putting down. Promise we will try not to disappoint.
Yeah, I think this was a good episode.
Good. It was overstuffed. Jesus.
Got a lot of content. We're almost 2.5 hours in.
Did it? Yeah, all right. And it feels like 2 minutes.
I feel like we could do another 2.5.
All right.
We haven't even touched on basketball.
Oh,
we haven't even touched on hockey.
Oh, man, so much to talk about. So many sports. But, NFL rules the day.
Yeah.
Football rules the day.
No, I think you made a good point when you were like, this is a finite amount of time for both football seasons. So we probably really should strike while the iron's hot.
Yes, and I'm not about to give that stupid... We can talk about it, but the stupid mid-season championship thing based on right now. If we do talk about it, we can just agree on how stupid that is.
I think, unfortunately, a lot of our NBA talk will be a lot of agreement, so you won't hear that much.
A lot of truncated. That's why we don't talk about it, because
Nope.
it's something we agree about, and that's not what you guys want to hear.
And that's not really what I don't really want to talk to you with.
I don't want to agree with you ever.
That's why I came up with the whole NFL draft thing. I knew you would hate it.
Well, I mean, we still have something that I know we're going to argue about that you left off. It's my favorite part. Let's talk about the movies.
Okay, let's
stop. All right.
I'm just not going to edit this one, I think. I'm just going to let it rip.
Ramp. Yeah. Or just cut it. Choppy choppies.
Yeah, we'll chop it up a little bit. Yeah. But, yeah, dude, so I got to really say, look, I'm not a big movie buff. You know that. Mm-hmm. But
that's what
I like to think I'm at least kind of in tune with kind of what's going on. I had no idea they were coming out with an Avatar 3. So, therefore, I had no idea they actually came out with a second one. The first one, I remember when it came out, all the buzz, and I just felt like it was just James Cameron being James Cameron in the height of his powers. And if I have to hear the cinematography one more time,
it was earth-shattering, and it changed the game.
Apparently the plot was monotonous, boring, done before.
Done before, yes.
How did they come out with 2 more? What is wrong with people? Why do they pay for this?
Because he's made this incredible world now, and he can expand out to his endless delight, and people are going to go see it. They're going to go see it, and I the funny thing is that if they relied strictly on the domestic box office, probably wouldn't go. But the fact of the matter is that these movies kill overseas, absolutely kill, because they just want to see something cool, see new animals, see new stuff, see the blue people intertwine their beaded, woven braids and get it on.
Is that why you're going to go see the third one?
I mean, yeah, that's number one. No, I haven't even seen the second one yet. Fire and Water, I don't even know what it's called. But the fact of the matter is that these movies are going to go out because they're going to continue to make money. We talk about the NFL draft. It's the same as any other business. So they're going to make money, and they'll make it overseas. They'll make it in residuals. They'll make it in DVDs, or not even DVDs, and streams, or whatever you want to call it anymore. The reason I feel like Avatar missed the boat, because, again, I think it could have been so much better or so much more seen if they didn't wait freaking 10, 15 years for the second one to come out. That's why you completely forgot about it.
That would definitely explain it then. Because I like to think I was quasi-informed on things. But yeah, if you're going to take 10 years to come back out.
10 years. And I understand that they filmed the 2 back-to-back. That's why 2 and 3 are close together. But Jesus, I lost all interest in that stupid planet 5 years ago. And it comes out 15 years. I was like, no. I don't care anymore. I'm not invested with these people. I do have a funny story about the original Avatar, though. Because there's another person who was never a huge fan of Avatar, and that's one of our close friends, Mr. Todd French. I don't know if you even know this story. This is back when I was living with Todd French when it came out.
He watched movies?
So, yes, begrudgingly. So here's how it happened. I think Will Billy was there with us, too, at the time. I had heard all the hype about Avatar, and I was like, wow, everybody's saying such amazing things. Let's just go see it. Let's go see it. Todd, not a big movie watcher. He's like, not for me. I'm going to pass. So I came up with an agreement with him. I was like, listen, the biggest reason is that he didn't want to waste money. He's like, I don't want to waste money on a movie. It's a stupid reason. And it's 3D movie, so it's going to cost even more, and I don't want to go see it.
Gross.
So I told him, I was like, listen, I will buy your ticket to go see the movie, but I get to choose what you wear to the movie.
That's the type of deal that Todd French probably agreed on immediately.
Yeah. Now, I said that without really thinking. We made some parameters. He was like, you can't paint me blue, and you can't dress me up as a character. You can't put me in a cosplay.
Okay.
But what he didn't know is that I already had walked through one of our favorite stores ever, TJ Maxx.
It's the best.
And I had uncovered a hidden gem of, it must have been a kid's schmedium, but a kid's schmedium, just Avatar blazing, like dark blues and blacks, and it's an Avatar right on the front. And I immediately bought this, being like, I don't know when and where I'm going to need this, but I know I'm going to. And the bet just laid it out right in front of me. So, day of the movie, I think I even had it in a bag. He didn't even wear this shirt to the movie. I gave it to him in the movie theater. He had to go change in the bathroom. And this is where the movie's still pretty big. So there's a line to get in the actual theater. And he's wearing this thing, and people are passing. Was like, "Oh my god! Like, I love your shirt." And like, how many times have you seen the movie? And you're obviously a huge fan. And Todd's over here like, I couldn't care less.
And Todd, he loves getting attention from strangers.
He loves it.
So he was just in heaven.
Oh yeah, he was in hell. He never let me bet him anything, everything. But the Avatar movie is just like any of these other stupid. It's a cash grab, and it just sucks. We talk about this, and I know I've talked about this. It's just that Hollywood's just lost all imagination and all originality, and it's always just, let's just keep retooling the same thing.
Oh, it's Marvel or DC Comics cinematic universe, which I didn't really realize, and I won't lie, I think it's kind of cool, but I guess you can have... So, like, I thought the idea of, like, the whole Civil War... I thought that was pretty cool.
The Marvel Civil War? Yeah. No, that was a great idea.
But I didn't really realize that there were, I guess, different, I don't want to call them like story arcs. Maybe that's what they are called. But yeah, where I guess the Hulk is a villain in this, whole series of books. I didn't know they did that.
There's a lot of IP available to be turned into intellectual property. There's a lot of IP available in these comics because they've been around forever. And they write new text and like... There's canon and not canon. There's different like versions. And then, again, the biggest cheat code in Marvel is, it's the multiverse. So this one's happening in this universe, and this is happening in this other universe.
Well, that just made $200 million. You said multiverse. Everyone's going to go see it at this point.
Well, but the point is that there's nothing based in reality. And, again, it limits the severity of the cost, right? It's like you've seen it. Characters can die off, but then, but they're still alive in this other universe. We're going to bring them over to this universe. And it's like... It cheapens any potential loss that's out there because there's always a possibility of these characters coming back. And they will because they're a cash grab.
They absolutely are. I really did think... I couldn't believe... I mean, it was well played. I mean, they made, 30 Marvel movies to get to the final, Avengers?
Yeah, that path was smart. It was smart.
Yeah, that was brilliant. But I really thought that was the end.
It should have been.
It should have. But once, like you said, I guess it's just those... Maybe it's just because of me. I wasn't big into the superheroes, but I definitely watched the X-Men, Batman, Spider-Man. I could see how people would still want to get in on that and how that would be appealing. But I don't know, this whole Avatar blue guy running around kind of, once again, it just, from everything I've been told, it was like the most basic plot line.
Again, the original, because I've only seen the original. It's just Dances with Wolves with aliens.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is.
Yeah. But I guess because the cinematography.
Yeah. It was beautiful to see. It was very aesthetically pleasing. Sure. You get past that and you're just like, I've kind of heard this story before.
Yeah.
So, I can appreciate that. You talked about the Marvel and the DC, but even other tentpole productions, you're just like, just stop. The Fast and Furious should have stopped it before. Jesus Christ, how are they still making these?
Didn't that happen in space in the last one? I heard.
I've lost count of how many I've not watched, but yeah, I think that they were on a rocket or something like that, and they went into space.
It's all for the family. It's all family.
Family. All right. Yeah, no. It's a nightmare. And again, if it's going to make money, it's going to. And again, it's the reboots. How many different Spider-Man do we need to see? How many different people playing Superman do we need to see? How many different people do we need to see Batman?
We don't need to see any more Fantastic Four movies. I don't know. I guess the four, their powers are just awful or something because they've tried 3 or 4 times. I remember one NBA Finals. It was like every other commercial was for Fantastic Four. It still bombed. They've all bombed. It's just stop. You've got 25 other characters that everyone seems to love. The Fantastic Four just ain't gonna make it, man. I'm sorry. The guy that...
They're the first family. first family of comics. I don't know. I'm probably making that up.
Well, if they were, sometimes you don't get it right on the first try. So
see, this is why you should be a Quentin Tarantino fan, because everything he makes is a Quentin Tarantino original, except for Kill Bill. That was all just replay of stuff he grew up on. But the most of it is something that is original, coming from the brain of Quentin. Spike Lee, same thing.
Yeah, no, there definitely is especially now after you just can't see anything original. There is an appreciation for that. And that's where it ends.
And that's the cutoff.
But we will get into how I feel about Quentin another time.
Okay.
We have I think we've made it now to where basically each episode, you could call it like a podcast episode, is about an hour and 20 minutes.
All right.
Which is kind of where we like to be.
Yeah.
So this big old double episode is kind of where we want it to be, since I won't be here next week.
There you go. We'll miss you. I'll miss you. Begrudgingly.
Thank you.
You'll be in Costa Rica.
I'll be having a wonderful time. Picked out some fun excursions. Nice. We'll do some relaxing. Not too happy with all the travel, to and from.
How long's the flight there?
I think the flight is only supposed to be maybe like 6 hours. But, getting there, the flight leaves at 6:15.
In the morning?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. And then, it's like an hour and a half layover. And then on the way back, we got to travel 3 hours to the airport.
Oh, so even from the airport to where you're staying in Costa Rica, it's a drive.
Yeah, we're staying at two different places. So the first place is right near the airport. So that's going to be a short drive from the airport to there. But then we got to literally drive from one side of the country to the other and then drive all the way back to go to the airport, like a 3-hour layover. We won't get back till like midnight. That kind of sucks to bookend your trip like that. But once again, I'm not going to let that stand in between.
No, you're going to have a blast. You're going to have so much fun.
You don't really remember the travel at the end of the day when you're thinking back to those trips, unless something really goes haywire, like if you're sitting there on the tarmac for 4 hours. But if you go into it expecting it's just going to be a crappy trip. But
the travel is going to be crappy.
Yeah. But if that's what it's going to be, then you won't remember it. So I'm hoping nothing goes wrong.
Especially if you get kidnapped, then that's what you're going to remember. If you're in Costa Rica and you get kidnapped,
I might.
You might remember that. I'm betting day 3 we get a sunburned Semco. Guessing day 3.
Probably.
Better reapply. You got that dainty, that fair.
We're closer to the equator down there.
The equator, yeah. The all dangerous equator.
My wife is really worried about that. She gets a sunburn like that.
Oh yeah, you guys have the paler complexion.
Yeah.
For sure.
She definitely more than me, but yeah. But you know what? We'll have fun regardless.
Yeah, you have hats, you have sunblock. I'm sure you guys will keep each other in check.
Yeah.
While you guys are enjoying the culture, in honor of you being gone, I'll just keep talking like this, like I'm from Costa Rica, and really just piss off my wife. She can't stand it. So Costa Rica. I remember, I think one of our first ones, she heard that. She's like, "Why did you say it like that?"
That's what she noticed.
Yes, she's like, nobody from the country says it like that. I was like, Costa Rica, yes, this is how they talk.
It is sometimes nice when you know exactly kind of what can get your significant
it's
other.
The best.
Just push that button.
Push that button
real quick.
It's it's a disturbance or it's a frustration, but it never escalates.
Yeah,
it's just it's my little quirk.
It's especially when your wife's having a really good day and all these good things are happening, and you kind of want to just bring them down a peg.
Yeah, I don't know if I was like, she's riding a little too high here. I'm gonna start doing like this. Hey, baby, come over here to Costa Rica.
You don't do that?
No.
Oh, I thought that was in the husband's playbook.
No, I try and lift myself up there. It's I want to feel like that because I'm usually the one that's down in the down. No, I'm actually pretty even keel.
You're a better man than I am then.
No,
I don't do that at all.
No, come on, Classy. You know that's not true.
Yeah, she knows. She won't listen She will never listen to this episode
it's
when
too
she
long.
sees how long it is.
Oh, Jesus.
Like I said, it'd take her another year to even get here at the pace that she's at.
She's like, I got the first 10 minutes. That was 10 days ago.
I just sometimes am like, can you just listen long enough so that it actually records that you've listened to it?
I just want the sub. I want to see that you subscribe.
Exactly.
That's all.
I just want to, just want that to be an official download.
And do me a favor, do it from Costa Rica so we can say that somebody from Costa Rica listened in. So there you go. I'm thinking ahead.
I will do that. I mean, obviously, I listened to it again.
Well, and now I have touches in 2 countries, and then our sponsors are going to just come a call, and
they're going to be like,
they got an audience in an international audience.
We've got global reach.
Whoa,
boy, We haven't even been on socials yet, and we're going to take off.
Jeez, man. I mean, it's just bound to happen.
Yeah. Well, you get two guys like us.
Yeah.
Behind a mic.
I mean, what's stopping us?
Nothing. Us.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably us.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll see where this goes. Having fun.
Always.
Yeah.
Every day.
Hell yeah. Well, Brandon, this has been wonderful. I think for every podcast, I think I'm going to end it with any last words.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to our longest fan, the silent partner, Kurt Emery, wherever you are, man. Don't forget to subscribe. We talked a lot about your team, Notre Dame, and how much we both just despise them, and we know how much you love them. So just remember, Kurt Emery, don't forget about us, big guy, because we're not forgetting about you.
We did last episode.
Yeah, we did.
But we're making up for it.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of play today.
A lot of play. We'll also tout out Michigan. And real quick, how great was it when Appalachian State blocked that field goal?
Oh, that was the best.
That was the best. You didn't talk to us, me and Chris Hunter, for at least a week.
You guys were roommates.
That was a great week. Not at that point, no.
No.
We both lived in Waterman's Crossing, but not together at that point.
Yeah. I've got a fun story about Kurt we'll have to point out.
Yeah, we'll bring that up.
It includes Willbilly, Seabear, Kurt, and the infamous Nacho.
I was going to say, Kurt's going to have to respond to the podcast to hear the story. But now that I know Nacho's involved, no, we don't need him. We're just going to go with the story at some point anyway. That's another episode of the Undrafted and Overconfident podcast. Thanks for hanging with us. The two friends who've been arguing about sports for 20 years and still can't agree on anything. Hit that follow button, drop a rating, and be the third to email us at undraftedandOverconfident@gmail.com. And we'll see you in 2 weeks with different takes and definitely the same nonsense. Thanks, y'all.
Peace.